Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat.
For the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today.
Spoon TV.
This one you got today.
Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon entertainment.
Go to there. Go to there.
To the spoon to get
Yes,
your
information.
To the spoon to be spoon.
Hello, and welcome to the program Spoon Talk tonight, fellow Liberians. And it doesn't matter where you are, who you are. I'm humbled to have you. And from my end, let me say good evening to Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson. Good evening, Dr. Richardson.
Myself. How are you, Byron?
Well, I tell God, thank you for life. I'm okay, and I hope everything is well with you as well.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Again, I thank God. Thanks as well. It's a busy morning. Just been running up and down. This weekend is the Bong Education Center Alumni Association convention. So I'm hosting the convention this weekend. So I've been running up and down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I think this is our 20th year now. We've been raising funds to support the school in Bon Mines. Bontown School is the school that I attended as a child, and of course the school is no longer there. So they've moved all of the schooling education to Sawiata, which is used to be up the hill. So we continue to support the school in that area. So anyway, we're here for Spoon today. Want to welcome all of our viewers I want to welcome all of you in Liberia and across the world. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a spirited, interactive conversation. It's getting closer to the elections, so we are sharpening the contrast between the candidates at this point. So, Byron, anything going on in Liberia? I'm sure it's never a dull moment.
Oh no, no. We always have news in Liberia. Yeah. So one apostle, Aaron Wright, uh, a presidential aspirant in the upcoming October 10th elections, along with his entire team today, had a press conference announcing to the Liberian people where, by the way, he comes from the Rebirth. That's the Rebirth Liberia movement, a political party. And he said, look, I'm going to withdraw from the party. I no longer want to be president. So this man, Apostle Aaron Wright, today he had a press conference where he said, look, there are so many political parties in Liberia, although I announced my ambition,
Mm-hmm.
but I no longer want to be president. So today he withdrew from the process. On the
That's
flip side of this, yeah,
actually
yeah,
that's good. I'm glad that he did because there are too many people in this race for such a small country. So I hope that a lot of people will, be enlightened and follow his footstep.
yeah, but that the richity, the multiplicity of political parties, that's the beauty of democracy. I mean, we have to cherish that. But anyways,
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, but it makes things very complicated for a lot of our voters. I like the fact that some people died for us to have more than one political party, but it would just be great if it's 42,
yeah,
42, and 42 guy, about 42.
yeah, we got, yeah, for the two registered parties, political parties.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So he has said, look, I no longer want to be president. I'm not contesting. And so we are still following as to where would be his next political, move, what he's going to do, whether he will support the CDC or come over to one of the opposition parties, whether he will support Mr. Cummings or Ambassador Joseph Boakai or the ALP or any of the, or the Unity Party. Yeah, I mentioned Boakai already. But on the other side of this,
They
mhm.
welcome to chat with the CPP people and see if fits. He's a good fit with the organization, so he's welcome to chat with them.
Okay, all right. So on the flip side of this, Joseph Boakai Jr., the son of Ambassador Joseph Boakai, as he's famously called, or Jojo, and this is a clip that's making rounds on the social media, where he admitted to the press conference that Henry Costa, or those allegations that Henry Costa levied, at his father by meeting with some investors in Ghana. I have this clip with me, and I have to do justice by reporting to the Liberian people where he acknowledged the fact, the son of Ambassador Joseph Boakai, by saying that, yes, indeed, my dad met with some of the investors, that Henry Costa talked about. And we have this clip, and concerning this 30 million, United States dollars due. But from our end, at Spoon FM, we cannot, authenticate this identical information. But it is my job to report all of these unfoldings, So I just want to do justice to it. It is also training. And again, Mr. Boakai has he has promised to fight corruption is elected as president of the Republic of Liberia. He made a statement in Nima County, I think that was today. And the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Mr. Alexander Cummings, I don't know whether you are aware of this, that originally he
No, I'm
was
not.
certificate. Yes.
Oh
He
yeah, oh, yeah,
actually,
yeah, yes. I
yeah,
saw. I thought it was something else. Yes, I saw him
yeah,
that.
yeah.
NEC,
Yeah.
the
So,
neck, yes.
so there are hundreds of supporters, his supporters gathered at the SKD, cheering him. So basically, these are some of the trending news in our country. Yeah.
That's never a dull moment in Liberia.
Mm.
I'm sure later on the show, they may ask you to play the tape by Jojo. I have not heard it yet. So maybe, that discussion might come up, and then we might hear it over here. So we'll see how it goes. But I have not heard it. So is it on Spoon page?
No, I just sent that in our chat room, and I also forwarded the video clip to the gentleman in the studio,
Oh,
and
Mr.
he's going to play it.
David.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that you guys can forward the
Hmm.
clip. I would really like to hear it. Uh, well, I saw that the American ambassador is leaving. The current ambassador, there's going to be another one coming in,
Yeah.
and I read a little bit that he expressed his disappointment in the two sanctioned persons that are running for public office in the name of Bill Travitt and McGill.
Hmm.
So he said he was disappointed that, that they kind of disregarded their being on a sanction list. So so I think that's interesting. I'll see how Nigerian people will vote. We'll see how that's going to pan out. And then what about the NTA buses, Byron? I read something about the NTA.
Well, it is so good that you came up with this. I mean, that's a $1 billion question. Liberian, the Liberian people are asking, where are the bosses? But the front page Africa newspaper, credit to them, they also interview, I think, one of their directors at the MTA, where he also frowned at the, I mean, government. He frowned at the government, not fully supporting that identical institution, and many of the bosses are not in good conditions. So right now, we only saw Joseph, his bosses we are seeing in the principal streets of Morovia. you know
Interesting. Yeah. I understand that during the Ellen's government, there were 20 buses given by Turkey, and then
Mm.
another 45 buses were given by India.
Yeah.
So now many of those buses are grounded because of mismanagement. They don't have any way of making money because they are grounded, so they can't pay. Uh, they can't pay the employees. So, geez, everything's going downhill to some extent. I wish they would have kept the buses running. At least people have at least been able to get transportation from one place to another. But let me welcome Dibe to the show from Lanu. Dibe, how you
Uh,
doing today?
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. I can hear you
Oh,
very well.
thank you. So I'm okay. As you know, we are in this twist and turn in the political season. At the same time, you have to be focused on your family and job, and so lots of things are happening. But we are okay. I mean, the health is good, so we are good to be here every evening to make our contribution to the disco as it relates to Liberia's decision-making period to determine who becomes the next president that will begin to transform this country immediately.
Hmm.
So, I'm doing to have your family.
I'm doing well. Abraham, your friend, is doing well. This weekend is very busy. Starting tomorrow is going to be very busy for us. Actually, I did a lot of running around this morning. The Bong Education Center Alumni Association was having their convention here in my neck of the wood, and I'm hosting the convention. So this morning I had to go out and make sure get food. Some people are in town already. I don't know if you remember Ursula Smith. I don't know if you.
Uh, but do you have Jabo Vinton around?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Jebo is active. He's active. So yeah, I'm sure the Vintons will be coming. So it's gonna start tomorrow. We're gonna kick it off by celebrating Abraham's birthday with a cruise on the Spirit of Philadelphia, and then after party at my house, and then Friday we're gonna go check out an underground railroad, which is uh, an establishment that housed slaves when they were running from slavery down south up north, and they had a whole system that they utilized. We're gonna go learn more about that, and then Friday night is another welcome party here at my house as well, and then Saturday we have the business meeting at we rented a hotel, the Holiday Inn locally. We'll be having business meetings, just kind of look at our successes, our failures, what can we do better, and and then Saturday night we're going to be doing the fundraising. Of course, Sunday everybody's going to be going to church with Abraham and I and worshiping at our church. So it's a whole busy weekend. We'll miss you. Wish you were here. I would let him know that we're sharing the platform together. I see Mr. Jerry is in the back. Let's bring him in. Hi, Mr. Gibson Jerry. How you doing?
How you doing? How's everybody?
We're good. You still
Fine.
enjoying Liberia?
I am still enjoying Liberia, my dear. And after here, I'm going to enjoy more this evening.
You can leave more for us now. And man, we'll come. We need to enjoy
I'm
too.
going to a club owned by somebody who is very close to you. Somebody, I think he's a deputy chief of staff, or I think what the guy name Yogba.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Moba.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
Renaissance.
yes.
I'm going to Renaissance. That's my favorite club. When I come to Liberia, I don't go anywhere beside that. Yeah,
Really.
I don't go.
They
I met
got
him the other day. We talk.
they got good roasted fish over there. I love the roasted fish.
Oh yeah. Oh
Make
yeah.
sure make sure you eat some for me. Some of the roasted
I
fish.
will leave some for you. So
Yeah, it
not
is
this-
nice. The last time when I was there, we went there as well. So it's really nice. I mean, a lot of young people hanging around. But anyway, you guys help me welcome uh, some of our viewers. Again, we really appreciate you viewers being here. It's a pleasure to come and exchange ideas with you every day. As you know, our job is to sharpen the contrast between the candidates. We are not going to agree on the candidates that we think will be the best leader for Liberia. But we're here to inform you, and ultimately, you will make the decision on October 10th. It will be your day to go out there and make the decision for Liberia. But at this point, we all tend to support different leaders. So I'm gonna start with Tibe. Rubina here trying to correct me in pronouncing your name. You remember the name from Bomb Mines. I'm saying the thing that you told me. So she just
Yes.
when she catch she said the man in the pay you keep calling so Rubina, I'm calling the name, I'm pronouncing the way how Johnny taught me. I know y'all know Abraham tells me it's a different name he had to, so that it is. So Johnny to welcome some of our viewers, and then Gibson Jerry, you're gonna help me welcome our viewers, and then I'll go ahead and welcome the viewers as well.
Okay. Let me welcome Mr. James Dan. He said he's watching from where he didn't state. Good evening to all. That's Regina C. Patrick Dixon watching from Solo Town, Grand County. Oh, that's good. Solo Town. That's a place where I worked before.
Mm.
Lawrence K.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've worked around the whole country. I worked in all the 15 counties.
Very good.
So I speak a little bit of all the languages, except better. So we
Oh,
have Emmanuel Kume Red Fire. I'm watching closely from my comfortable residence in Partnersville. That's good. Welcome. Uh, Augustus Billy. I'm here from New Jersey. The show was hot yesterday, but Fagon, please be easy on Dr. Francine today. So Francine, they are warning Fagon against you. Uh, Victor
thank you.
Morgan, following religiously from Morrisville, PA, USA. That's Pennsylvania, I think. And Elizabeth Kiatamba, she's watching from Washington State. Amos Chala, I hope that the Francine mind today, you guys gave that lady a tough time yesterday. Ah, okay. And Mr. Wow, we have M. Sange Sani. Good evening, Spoon family from Washington State. So let me stop here and my brother Gibson, who's a journalist, to bring flavor to this show.
Absolutely. He brings some spice, salt, and pepper. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Johnny Debe of Lionel, for that great recognition. Lauren Deline is here watching tonight. Prince Jimmy says this government took all of the MTA, and he talking about buses, and told Sir Joseph to use his buses to collect money for his campaign. I don't know how he that, but that's very much close to the truth. Peter Zoo says, I am watching live from Fiaman Singer Trumpet of Praise Church campus. Well, the church people are now watching as well. Henry Aldrich say we cannot trust ECWA in Liberia election. I mean, ECOWAS. You're talking about ECOWAS. You cannot trust ECOWAS in Liberia election in October. And Rubena Famata Louis Vincent said, the party people, BMC, Robert W. Kakbe Jr., let Cummings resign too. What do you mean by that? Cummings is not in any position to resign, but you want him to not contest? Aaron Toba said, hello, Spoon family live from Bon County. James Jacobs. Amara M. Kamara. Bye. Two-man party. Akko. Look at now. Look at how sorrowful you were looking at that party headquarters. Talia and her father, Ben gave your poor boys Huawei to drown your so-called leader Costa. Oh, that's an interesting one. Blue Diamond Insight says, you Ndebe, mind yourself on that show. This woman is too rude. She will insult you soon. Who is that he's talking about? I'm not sure any rude woman is here. But let me go down here, and there's a comment I've seen here from Adam Baba. This guy is a scammer about medicine. I think they need to block him from this show. He always posts on people. I have blocked him everywhere on all of my platforms. And let me go to Liz. My case is different. Salute. Say, I'm watching from Caldwell, Monrovia, Liberia. Thank you.
Okay. Are you okay? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for bringing flavor, salt, and pepper to the welcoming of our viewers. Let me just call a few people. I want to welcome. Hold on. Dede Tuli. Thank you for being here. Clarence Pega. Thank you for coming. Clarence Benson is following from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Godfrey Lamy Kadi is here. Prince M. Montgomery. Prince M. Montgomery is also watching from Minnesota. Lihi Sese is watching. Let me just say, I think interesting. Somebody just said something I think is interesting. James Lambert is interesting. He said, Dr. Richardson, I must commend you because you're a strong woman. All these guys sometimes get, I say continue to do your best on this show. Thank you very much, James. I'm going to continue to do my best. I work in a psychiatric hospital before, so just so y'all know. And I managed to deal with many. I had to do my internship at Friends Hospital, the oldest psychiatric hospital in Philadelphia. And part of my requirement was to do group therapy with people who are psychotic, and people who are bipolar, people who have personality disorder. And I had to run group therapy with them. So I'm, to keep them, busy and to keep them in with some kind of intervention. And so I'm sitting there. When I'm sitting there, everybody's talking different things at the same time. If just imagine when someone is psychotic or going through getting the medication, because after they take the medication to calm down a little bit, and then you have to sit there and do therapy with them. You know, when you're psychotic, you're not in reality in a way. So I did many years of that. So I'm okay. Thank you for your concern. Anyways, so Marcus Bubba is also here. Malcolm Va is also here. Elizabeth Martin Tutman. What Elizabeth? Hello. It looks like you all over the world. Every time I see you, you in some other country. But enjoy that one life to live, right? So Prince Blue, I believe the rescue mission is strong. He says, McDonald Flomo Yankwe, I call your new. You say I'm calling your new today. McDonald Flomo Yankwe is here. Thank you for coming. Moses Spade Jr. is also following us from Bunk County. Dwyer Meyer Yima is following us from Kampala, Uganda. I love it when I see Spoon in other countries. I'm going to stop here and just basically check in with Dibe and Mr. Jiru to see how you guys are doing. Any thoughts that you have, or any afterthoughts, reflection. And of course, Stanton is here. I'm going to turn the show over to him. Go ahead.
Why you turn it over to me?
Because I won't be able to talk.
Oh, you want to talk?
When I'm moderating, I don't get to talk.
Johnny, why you looking at that? You saw me. You just got afraid, Johnny. Why?
Sure.
Mama, you are the least of my worry. You are the least of my worry.
I came on, Johnny. You got so nervous. You got so afraid. Like you got 10 million. You're offering somebody. Why you so afraid, Johnny?
I mean, but I the money, man. You don't want to say you can get money too. You don't want to say you get money to people.
I beg you, yeah. I beg you. I'm Clarence Monoval. I'm not Grace Kwan. I get 4 horses in Ghana since she became superintendent. We'll get to that later. 4 horses the woman built under her superintendent position. She built 4 horses in Ghana. So we'll get to it, Johnny. Gibson, when you're afraid, you're in the dark. Gibson, where's your light? When I hear,
unmute yourself, Mr. Gibson. Unmute yourself.
You know, that's why in videographing, they tell us not to wear white because the white make your face darker. You see, your face is brighter because you're wearing a color shirt. So, yeah, that's the way it looks.
No, it's not a reason. You're just a black ugly man. That's all. It's not a reason.
My wife is beautiful. I got a beautiful wife. I don't know what my wife see, but
yeah, but if your wife is so beautiful, why you want that method number? Why you asking for code number?
All Nima women are my women, so don't forget. Traditionally, all the women Nima are my wives.
I say nothing in our. I heard that Johnny will be endorsing Joseph Boakai in the second round. Johnny, I mean, I'm proud of you. When I heard that, I felt, I said, wow, this thing coming to an end. I mean, if you think that he's the man to work with in the second round, why can't you work with him now, Johnny? And I want to ask Gibson the same question.
Don't put that in the public. Don't put it in the public.
Johnny, I can say, let me say my own, you say your own. Don't tell me what to put something in public.
For your team, I beg you. Tell your own team or your own team. Say, I'm supporting Joseph Boakai. That's why you got a whole show.
Johnny, I'm telling you.
Also, I alone here. You get that Richardson ANC. You get Gibson behind the broom. You got you behind you eat. So your title that you eat, I eat. You eat, I eat. You chop, I chop. You from the you chop, I chop camp. Gibson from the broom camp.
The woman has made it clear to the people she would never involve. You call your own man on the radio, making her told you that the money don't take a dime from that money. She left it there with them. Hey, my man, when you bring that to woman, how much is the woman? Please, don't get a joke around that woman. I want to good, my man.
Gibson, why the woman built 4 horses in Ghana?
The woman has listen. The woman has her grown children, professional children.
Oh, so you come to tell the truth now.
Is it a wise decision to go build 4 houses in Ghana?
Gibson, the man come to tell the truth. I tell you guys, let me say that, Gibson. I told you guys that y'all stop messing with me. I got a woman whole portfolio, her home address in Ghana. I got it all free. When a woman becomes superintendent, she built 4 homes.
They are married in Ghana. They got a family
I
in
think you
Ghana.
say you marry in Lofa again. I think you say you marry in Lofa again. What do you mean you marry in Ghana?
I'm saying the woman, not me. I'm saying the woman children. The woman children are in Ghana. They marry and live in as a family. That's not her house. And
So
you gotta have
you want to challenge? Listen. You want to challenge us on the show? I know we have not started yet. That Grace Kwan has no home in Ghana. Then we will bring it up. Does she own a home in Ghana?
I'm saying to you, she has her children that live in Ghana, and her children are married and working in Ghana.
I'm not talking about her children. I'm not talking about her children. I'm asking you. You are here to propagate. You are here to speak for your party, stand-up bearer and vice stand-up bearer. I'm asking you, Johnny, KM, Debbie. I beg you, Gibson, listen to my question. I don't want you to say my question is irrelevant. Johnny, does Grace Kwan own a property or home or homes in Ghana?
I don't know.
Question.
No, I don't know. I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
changed it to say you don't know now? I said
No, I
nothing
don't-
about a woman's children.
Grace Kwan has a
Gibson,
home.
you heard me say, Gibson, you heard me saying something about her children? No, I didn't. I
So
said
if it's about I don't know.
Grace Kwan owned 4 homes in Ghana since she became superintendent. She owned homes in Ghana. And you're
So
telling
I
me,
don't know
saying
homes
that
in
they want her children. Because I got a paper, I got a picture of the homes. That's why I'm bringing it up. I would never speak in vain, Gibson. She owned her homes in Ghana. I know that for sure. When a woman become president, she owned homes in Ghana. Tell the Liberian people the truth, man. Stop wasting our time.
No, listen, Stanton, I'm telling you that I do not know that she has homes in Ghana. So saying you are bringing it out now,
Yeah, how you guys vet this woman?
Listen, Stanton.
They say you chop, I chop, you say no. The woman owned 4 property in Ghana and you say you don't know. How you guys do your vetting? Hey,
Stanton.
Gibson, help me, man. Let me go get my grandson. Help me, Gibson.
No, honestly, it's a great question. It's a great question because when you are a national leader or about to be a national leader, and she was, and you take money and go build 4 homes in Ghana, there's something wrong about the decision.
Yeah, but Gibson, I mean, I'll follow you, and I really think that you should not be following Stanton in the kind of allegation where you should be having.
I'm just propagating. I'm just postulating what it could be.
But Gibson, don't do that. Gibson, don't do that. I mean, Gibson, I think I hold you, and I mean, at a high level on this platform that I will not expect to be following.
So can you please find out for us and come by tomorrow?
You should be seen to Stanton. Please bring the information. I don't have it. I can find out. I don't know all the details that you are talking about, but I'm telling you that what she has told me in conversation in the past has been that she has her children in Ghana. They are married. I think she got a big daughter also.
Gibson asked the man. The man just said he doesn't know, Gibson. He said he doesn't know. Then why you want to argue again?
So you got to go find out and come and tell us.
Yeah, but go to your party, man. How you guys do a vetting for the woman? You don't know what the woman own, what she own. Since 20, since the woman become superintendent, she was building homes in Ghana. Okay, we get the woman whole story.
Stanton, bring your father discuss it. Bring your father.
Does Lionel have a vetting team? Does Lionel have a vetting team?
We do.
Did the vetting team properly vet her?
Excellent.
And they didn't find out that she got 4 houses or 4 homes in Ghana?
Not at all.
Begin, Johnny, you in the bad hot seat today. But we can't. Dada Richardson, sorry. Dada Richardson, sorry. Please get on your shirt, Dada Richardson.
I mean, when you back from show your face, don't hide yourself.
No. I got my grandson, and according to the law, you cannot bring baby on the show. The CEO went after Dr. Richardson, so I got to have my face till they get the grandson from me. Mo Ali, welcome, my brother. Welcome, Mo. But Gibson, you can ask some question, my man. You need to ask your man question. You got vetting team. You already know the woman own property in Ghana. You already know the woman. But man, don't let me go. I tell you, you got to be very, very careful with me.
But do you know also that the woman have 2 houses in Nigeria?
I don't know what that.
But you're vetting team now asking questions.
I said we don't know. There's been no information that told us that she has property in any country. So you're bringing for honor so we can see it.
So let's start. Johnny, tell us what's on your mind, and from there we'll go to Jerry Gibson and Mo Ali, and then I'll share what's on my mind. Go ahead, Johnny. What's on your mind today?
Okay, so like I said yesterday, I mean, Liberia is in a serious problem. The problem we have right now is our young generation coming after us. That is actually being. I mean, it has to how to get over this drug issue in the country. The issue of drug is actually a concern that every day, as I move around in Monrovia and other parts, looking at young people, looking at their future and the way drug issue is in the country, is worrying, is worrisome to me. And to the extent that my Standard Bearer and Vice Standard Bearer sees it as a serious issue, very serious. So I will always say, number one attempt is the drug issue because it has a serious potential of undermining our future generation coming after us, our children, our great grandchildren. If we don't take action now to stop the drug issue in this country, I'm afraid that our future, when we are in our retirement age, we'll be living in terror. So we have to make sure that this society right now takes full responsibility of its governance system to ensure that drug is curtailed, drug is properly, I mean, it's actually getting rid of in this country. We have a clean society. I know that sometimes people say in the developed countries it is hard to get rid of it, but I think within the small society that ours, a I mean, like a society that is not much sophisticated yet, we can do something to really fight against drugs. So clearly, I would say that my key point today is, and I will always say, the issue of drug is a serious concern to everyone. That's why we have our own agenda, our own plan as Lino as to how to begin to approach the issue of drug as it is confronting our society.
Thank you.
Next thing I would say to us right now is that maternal health. Maternal health is a serious issue. I have worked in all 15 counties in the country. I've gone to remote places where, I mean, you can only get there through motorcycle or walking. And I spoke, I don't know if I will ever have the time to play a short clip interviewing a midwife in Babulu County, where they have the only health center in Belefasama, and the closest distance to walk to this place is 6 hours for a pregnant woman.
Wow.
And the farthest distance is about 16 hours. It's not just on the road, it's in the jungle, crossing over creeks, over waterways, over sticks, walking in the forest like what I experienced growing up in Lofa, going through the bush, finding place to go. So actually, those two things should be a concern. Maternal health issue is very serious in this country. We have to stand up as a society and as a people to address these issues seriously. So let me stop here and let my colleagues say what they have to say.
Thank you, David. Gibson, Mr. Gibson, Jerry?
Yes, I still want to come back to two things I talked about yesterday. The first one will be a comment from a seditious in the street I talked to yesterday. And I hate to call them Zoko because I feel that they are in a special challenge. And the guy told me, he said, "Oh, Pape, that man who voted for the man say our trouble are going to finish you, but look how we stay suffering." That statement seems like an honest, sincere, and frustrated, coming from a frustrated youth. And I think this is because George Weah and his government have abandoned the people that gave them power. They have deliberately abandoned the people that gave them power. They have lost focus. And that's why I told the young man, I said, look, the only way you will pay back is to deny him the vote for a second term. Because when people lie to you, when they say they're going to change your life and they enrich themselves, they build 18 units of 10 stories, they refurbish their property, they buy new property, they store up millions in their name and forget you. The only way you can punish them is to deny them your vote. And I'm talking to those silent youth in the street today. If you believe that you were better off 6 years ago, go ahead and vote for George Weah. But if your life is not better than 6 years ago, do one thing for us. Take your ballot and change it in the name of the person who you believe is going to do better. Do not vote for George Weah. because you will be perpetuating the suffering that you continue to experience. The second thing I want to talk about, and Sam Mo Ali is here, has to do with my request to the JMB and the Unity Party to speak to this allegation. I listened to, after the show yesterday, I listened to Costa again, just to make sure that I heard some of the things we were talking yesterday. And indeed, Costa made a complete description of what happened. No details can be narrated without some level of truth in it. So I'm told that Mo Ali was one of those people who were on the trip to Ghana to meet with the $30 million crew. Mo Ali is here. If he didn't go, he can make that clarification. He's an honest man. He will be able to say whether he went or not. I trust him for that. But even if Mo Ali didn't go or Mo Ali didn't know about it, it is very important that some clarification is made. We cannot have a leader who participate in an activity that has to do with money. They pay your plane ticket, they give you per dime, they pay for your hotel, they pay for your food, they invite you to a meeting, and then the reason you went to the meeting didn't materialize, and you cannot tell us. If you want to be our leaders, you are entitled to give us the information. And that's what we are begging for. Thank you.
Mo Ali.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. I've not been too well. I'm under the weather.
Oh, sorry.
But it's good being here. And let me announce that I will not be coming here as frequently as before, as I assume my role as campaign spokesman. Let me say one of the first things that is of interest to me. The other day when the president came from Israel, the journalist from Spoon FM asked him about the trip, and the president responded that one of the main reasons why he went to Israel was to get a better understanding of this whole Jesus thing. Even though he's a pastor and he's preaching,
Look, I was trying to
the other
tell.
day, I think it was Diamond or somebody who interviewed a guy from Oro, and the guy is Jesus.
Yeah, I heard that.
He claims to be Jesus. So instead of our president taking our country money and spoiling it to go to Israel to find out about Jesus, with 12 disciples, he could just drive right to Oro. We're helping. We can ask Diamond to bring that recording. We're helping to find out Jesus, and he can just talk with the guy rather than wasting our time and energy and resources to go to Israel to go find out about Jesus. The second thing which I would like us to talk about is the real innate intent of that trip. All the other things they did over there, finding out about Jesus, going to bathe in River Jordan, it was a side distraction to distract our attention from the real reasons why they went there. They told us that the trip was not an official government-to-government trip. So we've been digging behind, and we have got to realize, we find out that some of the tricks they did in 2017 to win election are some of the things they went for. They have gone to have meetings with IT experts in Israel, people who are experts in hacking election systems that will be able to change results within the system. Now, we want to let you know that we know these things. We have got classified information with evidence that was the reason why President Weah took his men to Israel. And they have provided incentives for one of the guys to come here and conduct a covert assessment on the Elections Commission and their entire IT system to see how they will be able to manipulate results. We're telling you now that we know it. And I don't know for the other opposition political parties. But for the Unity Party, we will look at our votes. We will mend our votes, we will count our results, and we will announce our result before next. It is incumbent upon all of us who want to see the results announced as the people cast their ballot. The decision they make, the decision they will make on that day, it is good for us to see that result. If there is nothing else we can collaborate on, this is one place that we have to collaborate on. You could be the one tomorrow, it could be your candidate, it could be my candidate, it could be David's candidate. If we are collaborating to ensure that the right results are announced by NEC, then we'll be doing ourselves good. If opposition can collaborate on other things, let's collaborate on that one thing. Thank you.
Okay, Stanton. Okay, he's on the phone. I just want to welcome Mame. It's good to have you here again today. You have we're just doing our opening thoughts. Are you ready now to do yours?
No. Yeah. You talk about opening? You talking to me?
Yeah. I was talking to you
no,
now.
Let Abula go first.
Okay,
that's okay. I'll wait for Abula.
Go ahead, Abula.
Opening thought for me, I want us to really go into the meat of the discussion, but opening, I would just say a lot of things been happening. We've been following. I listened to Mo Ali, giving tips on the trip to Israel. We have details on that. We'll take care of it appropriately at the appropriate time. That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you. Stanton?
Yeah, Dr. Richardson, that's very important. What Mo Ali is alluding to, if it is true, it's very important, and I think it's trouble. It will be troubling for our country. I do believe that if President Weah traveled to Israel with Fonati Kofa, who is the lawyer, the legal representative, or was or is his law firm for Liska, I believe that's the company name, correct? Mo Ali, Liska, and they have to deal with the Israeli group Liska to come up with some kind of understanding to manipulate the election. I think it's troubling. If these allegations and these assessments, for any reason, come up to be true, I believe every political party in the nation should be get up. They should get themselves up and understand that it's a troubled time for Liberia. Okay, we've been receiving information that the trip that President Weah said, well, we went to look for Jesus Christ. No, President. You've been the pastor, you've been a rabbi, you've been a teacher of the law, you've been a priest, you've been preaching in the Falkland Clan Church from generation to generation since 1822. You cannot go to Israel just to look for Jesus. Jesus is right there with you. Jesus is in the Bible. But what's the main reason you went to Israel, Mr. President? Did you go to Israel to talk to your friend Yatiyaha, the way in which you pronounce his name, Yatiyaha? Did you go to Israel just to talk to him and have that bilateral relationship? Or what's the real intent? You travel to Israel with some permanent folks that represent and sit and talk and defend Liska. So we got to dig deeper with this information and we got to flag it. That's what we are doing. So I'm troubled by that. And I hope political leaders can get up and wake up to these calls, because today, we saw Joseph Yima Boyka meeting with Jonathan Goodluck from Nigeria, the ECOWAS delegation, and other folks. A beautiful thing today. Yesterday, President, we have met with them. Can you depend on ECOWAS? They are tough like bulldogs. Anything fall short, guess what? ECOWAS will say, like, for example, look at Guinea. They couldn't do anything. Look at Burkina Faso. Look at other countries around the world. What happened there? ECOWAS stood by and said, you know what? We will work with them. That's the internal affairs. So we have to be very, very careful. But we got information reaching us. We'll document as to why President Weah went to Israel. We'll be revealing these things shortly, and we'll reveal them accordingly. If these allegations and assessments are true, then that's a very, very tough time right now for our country. Can President Weah win this election as President Weah? Can they manipulate the election? opposition leaders got to start thinking twice. That's my first opening. My second opening here, is number one, is very serious. Let's go back to Clarence Moduba. When I said this, we were laughing. But how would they say, we don't know when Madame Grace Brown was working as superintendent, we didn't know that she built house in Ghana. I mean, it's important to ask this question. We didn't know that she owned a couple of homes in Ghana. Those are the vetting team responsibility that we should come on air and announce it. She was making money in Liberia. Honorable Ford accused her of embezzlement, $261,000, 400 and something thousand dollars. Those money that were used to build those homes in Ghana, we should ask this question, fair question. My third take is that I would say this, and I would say this all the time. I'm going to go back to this Costa story. Who served as whistleblower to tell Joseph Yeman Boakai that, I'm smelling something, don't go to Ghana. And even if you go to Ghana, Gibson, I want you to listen to this, it's very important. It is all the work of Samuel Tuah and sedition. Who gave the information to Unity Party and to Joseph Yeman Boakai? Who warned them? Who were the sedition? I'm hearing the name Sir Joseph coming up. Sir Joseph blew the whistle. Sir Joseph called and he blew the whistle and said, listen, it's CDC work. It's the work of CDC. We have documents. Those investors that were in Ghana, are they investors that are loyal to Sir Joseph? Why is sedition getting mad at Sir Joseph? Did Sir Joseph save the day? I mean, I'm asking these questions because something is just not right and something is coming out that Sir Joseph saved Dr. Richardson. And I want you to listen to me. Sir Joseph saved UP because the work of CDC was broken by Sir Joseph, Senator of Musarado County. And we have information to that effect. The phone call Sir Joseph made, that's what turned this thing around. So these are things that many more on my mind. Look what happened today in the Senate. They don't send those folks home. The last thing I would say here, people from LSCC came that the president nominated. He appointed them. He said, you'll go for confirmation hearing. They don't ask questions on this, three of them today and say, listen, have you declared your assets? We got that clip and we play it. Gibson, every one of them said no. We have not declared our assets. They don't say, get up from my face, you'll go home. You get up from my face, you'll go home. You're coming to say you want to run. Joke, personal way, it's a joke. You go find people that fail to declare their assets and you want us to waste our time on them. And that was beautiful today. And they don't, and the rest of the senators send them home. And we must applaud them for that. So I rest Dr. Richardson. These are the 4 to 5 things I want us to discuss. That's what on my mind. And I think we'll have a wonderful conversation. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you. Honorable Fagon, I believe that you were one of the last person to come in. You want to tell us what's on your mind?
Good evening to all. If I call everybody's name, I will get stuck at Ndebe because his name is difficult to call. So I will just say good evening to the entire panel. And Gibson, I don't know why you're laughing. Gonglo was making steady progress until you came on board and caused him to lose. And now he will not set the election. But this is what is on my mind.
That's not true.
This is what is on my mind. In 2017, we recorded around about 21, 22 political parties, 19 of which took part in the presidential and general elections. And that's 2017. And only 5 political parties went above the threshold as enshrined in the laws of our country, which is they stood above 2%. Today, what is on my mind is that we have 46 political parties. That means that is 2 times more, 2 times plus more than what we had in 2017. Now, if you keep doubling the registration of political parties and have the proliferation of political parties, then of course you run the risk in 2029 of having 100 political parties. So what's on my mind for a small country of Liberia is how do we stop the proliferation of political parties and gravitate towards political ideologies like you have in developed countries, such as conservatism, liberalism, nationalism, so forth, and libertarianism, so forth and so on. Why should we double every 6 years? Therefore, there is a law, and the law was crafted to make sure that we do not have the proliferation of political parties, or that our political system is not saturated with political institutions that are meaningless and have got no contribution to the political arena. Therefore, I'm calling on NEC to do the honorable thing, and that is to respect the law and allow the law to be the law. All parties that took part in the 2017 elections that did not meet the 2% threshold should be suspended with immediate effect and removed from the NEC portal. Secondly, if that happens and you take away 5 from 19, of course, you will be left, I think, with 14 if my math is correct. And if you're left with 14 political parties, I mean, to relegate is the word, the appropriate word, politically relegate those 5 parties plus the other parties, the new parties, will then move ahead. But even with the new party, we had a revelation through the court, the justice system, where Grand Jury representative, what's his name, George Boley, borrowed the UPP 10,000 to put in the account to be able to run. I'm talking with Dr. Francis, be shaking her head. She can just be telling me, yes, the ball can talk true. And when it was when they got registered and got their documents, when it was time to give the man his 10,000 back, they ate the man 10,000. It became a problem. I'm calling on NEC once again to move expeditiously within the next 24 hours to visit the bank accounts effective tomorrow morning of every single political party that is registered, and any party without $10,000 balance in the account be removed with immediate effect. We must help our country. For a country of 5.2 million people, we cannot afford 100 parties in 2029. For a country of 5.2 million people, we cannot have 46 political parties right now, as it's showing on that website. That is what is on my mind. And the last but not the least is that members of the Bring Back Our Press Conference movement video, there is a Bring Back Our Press Conference movement video right now. That movement is saying that Mr. Costa press conference that he had, and he went on his page and took down, she can just be shaking her head, yes, that's you. I told you I got my droom. He went down on his page and took down his own press conference. This movement is demanding that he bring back the press conference video. And it is going to be all over social media between now and tomorrow. They are asking him to put back the video. There are certain things within the video they believe they want to keep watching for history. So I'm calling on Mr. Costa to go back on his page and put the video back there as the movement is demanding. It is their right, and I think it is his right, but no, it was a public thing he called for the nation, and the people of Liberia are demanding him to put back up the video. I think he should put it back up. I respectfully submit.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to be quick in telling you what's on my mind, and then Stanton can.
We get to Fadiga. Yeah, I mean, our hosting Fadiga.
I'm sorry, Fadiga. I didn't.
I know you never been there, but it's okay.
But Fadiga, I told you she don't like your business.
I know.
I didn't see you, but anyway, please talk.
You see my hair be that day. How can you forget it kind of be here?
You told me to mind my business, like I told you to mind yours. So go ahead.
Your head big too, just my own.
I know we don't got people here that book and notice are quick, but what's on my mind? Look, what's on my mind is the recast budget. Details about that budget has been omitted, and we need clarity. There are so many devils in the detail that we need clarity to be clarified. These guys are doing something shady, and I don't think that budget should be passed. We'll delve into that sometime along during the program. Another thing again, we're giving way too much credit to the credence to this whole hullabaloo about 30,000 gate. That 30,000 gate is nothing. There's nothing there. No crime
Is
or
that
committed.
30,000 or 30 million?
Million. They made monopoly money. You know, the monopoly money was giving way too much credence to that story. I know our friend within the ANC, they are having field day with it. Now they have found a new darling that something. But what is on my mind is that we are not surprised the individual that is at the center of this thing. I don't know how many times this guy would blackmail and do people and abuse his friend and betray the trust of his friends for people to know who he is. What I felt bad for is the fact that the ambassador were even put in this position. I mean, he exploited that man's love and kindness, you know, and ability to forgive people. Because normally I wouldn't allow that man 2 foot or even 3 inches near me. But Ambassador Boyka being the kind of person that he is, and we saw that in his message, he said, "I forgive you." I hope this become a teachable movement moving forward for some of you politicians out there. You guys know who this gentleman is. He doesn't keep friends. He doesn't care about anyone. He's a narcissist. He's a child that is still growing. He have not reached that developmental milestone. So we still need to. He's still a work in progress. I think he's a fireman, but he still got a lot to do. So that's why, Mama, we're not going to give this credence. The answer that you guys looking for, you will not get it. Nobody going to have press conference to entertain it. Nobody going to say anything. Just what you see is what we're going to do. So your ANC folks, y'all can keep asking what happened in room 309, 3010. Y'all go ask the man that brought the information out. You know,
So let me say this, Dr. Richardson, before you come in, I beg you. We made something very important we'll also be bringing up. The government announced about
that's where I will go.
the headline circulating that they have, and they're about to talk about the 44,000 Costa Highway. We will be discussing that. That was a false information. The government running with that story that President George Manuel, actually, he was unable to complete the Rawa International Highway. Now they're coming with a new initiative that they would do certain part of the country through the African Development Bank. Our sources have reached out to the bank, and the bank is telling the government of Liberia that you guys are lying. Senator, you are lying to the people. Public Work Minister, you are lying. President, we are telling the people the truth. So we will be discussing this also. I just want us to flag it. We must
that is
discuss
really,
it today.
really important. Let me say thank you to Mami,
because it's saying
Mami
contrary to the headline, the government circulated in the media today. They want you to believe. We have confirmed from the African Development Bank that its current portfolio in Liberia does not include the construction of Liberia 448. You see, imagine somebody talking lie. But let me hold it right there. Let me allow Dr. Richardson to talk to us.
Thank
we'll
you.
come
Before
back to
I
it.
lose my train of thought, the first
Yes, ma'am. The only thing you guys, Mr. Comey, so it's not too deep, but talk to us.
Whatever. The only thing well, there's actually 3 things on my list to say. The first thing, I want to actually thank Ambassador McCarthy for his work and service to Liberia. I really think he was a very active ambassador in the Liberian politics and government, and he spoke sometimes for the Liberian people. I noticed that he expressed his disappointment with the WIA government relating to not investigating the sanctioned public officials. He said that he was very disappointed in the government not taking any interest at all. We don't know whether the government spoke to the United States to get further information or not, but he did mention that. He mentioned his disappointment. And he also said that he's
Madam, he did. We have it on tape. If you requested they should give it to you, he said point blank that nobody has ever asked them for evidence, formally or informally, nothing.
Thank you.
No one has reached out.
Thank you. I was busy, so I didn't really go through. So anyway, he did say that it is up to the Liberian people to elect sanctioned public officials. But of course, he will be disappointed if McGill or Bill Traore are elected. The second thing on my mind is I believe that the Unity Party, Mr. Kennedy, leader, Joseph Boca should get up and have a press conference denouncing what Costa said. We're not just going to put this under the rock as, Fadiga is saying, oh, it's blackmailing or whatever. But, Costa is not running for president. It is Ambassador Boca, or Vice President Boca, who is running for president. And he needs to be able to set the tone for leadership in terms of what is the truth and what isn't the truth. And I think he knows that. I'm just, yesterday we were hearing that he took that trip to Ghana. So if he did take the trip to Ghana, why did he go there? He needs to explain that to the Liberian people. The last thing, yesterday on the show, I mentioned Amara Kane had said that alien health, I said 16, but it was actually 17 grudges against Buckeye. And I went back and found a few articles to support what I say. I don't just speak because I want to speak. Obviously, I'm in the evidence-based program, just like how I grade my students when they don't back up their theory that they're telling me. I don't come on this show and just talk about things I don't know. But I'm going to read an excerpt of what Amara Kane wrote. And please allow me without any interruption. He said, none of us in the UB regime suspected a deep rift between Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Joseph Yuma Buckeye. Most of us who attempted to reconcile them were shocked by the list of 17 grievances that JNB had written down and kept in his home office. I attempted 5 times, and he read that list to me each time. So every time that Amara Kante went to visit JNB read the list. Others did too and failed. All of the issues were personal, some genuine and other frivolous, to say the least. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf too was stunned, and she struggled with the discovery that her vice president had been unhappy with her all these years. I saw her struggle with it and made efforts to solicit help from others who could help. She was also depressed that he did not raise any of the issues during a regular one-on-one meeting during their 12 years of marriage, including when she selected him in 2015 as the choice to succeed her. Conner said in his social media confession post, which he said is being transformed into a memoir. So again, I'm just reiterating that the issue relating to 17 grievances, 17 grudges held by Joseph Yuma Buckeye against Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was published, and I wasn't just talking out of the thin air. Thank you.
I have a quick question for Dr. Francine, if you don't mind. Dr. Francine read to us excerpts. 1, where can we find what you are reading?
Well, I put it in the chat, Mr. Facon.
Yeah, it's my question. You read, but you did not state the grievances. Perhaps he did not state it, but you said something profound. According to Amara Kane, what you read, some were personal, some were genuine, some were frivolous. What you put in the chat room, did it have the 17 grievances in there?
Yes, I'm quoting from this article. Actually, I'm quoting from the article. No, I don't have the 17 grievances because it's in the memoir that he is expected to publish, or I don't know if he's published that already.
Yeah, then of course,
article, there were several papers that carry this story, but I'm reading actually from the Panelist News, and this was published October 29, 2019.
And that's why I asked the question so the Liberian people can know the 17 grievances that were spoken about. Nobody knows what they are except for you told us just now. According to him, some were personal, some were genuine, and some were frivolous. Well, we don't know what they were. We don't know what they are actually. And we're not waiting for the memoir to come out before we know what they were. What we do know is what Madam Sirleaf said, that he was the best to continue.
Yeah.
Quick question. Thank you very much, guys. Guys, hold on 1 minute now.
She said that in 2015.
Quick question, Dr. Francine.
Yeah, and you said he wrote that 2015.
But guys, hold on 1 minute. Let's have some order. Listen, guys.
2019.
Listen, Dr. Richardson just say what was on her mind. Let's get into the conversation, and then we can move around to ask questions. Dr. Richardson, let's get into the conversation. Since you ended on this issue about something you said yesterday, I don't want us to waste our time on it because we're 1 hour into the show already. But you came back to defend what you said because some folks that Mampek Gondo and others were saying show us what you're reading from. So now you have said it. If it is your turn, you want to ask Dr. Richardson question, you will be free to. But I want us to go on what is on the floor right now is the issue of the current trending stories. Let's do them. Let me bring back this thing about why Samuel Twe lied to the people. It will be very important we start with this story and put it to rest. On that story, I'm going to start with Meme Abula. Let me put it up first, and you can tell us exactly. I want you to correct some of the myth. You are from the Tewan Gonglo camp. From there, we'll go to Gibson, Johnny, and the rest of the team. Explain this chart to us and tell us exactly why you investigated Samuel Twe's story that is about to build 448 kilometers of road.
So the first thing is, as a development practitioner, knowing international development, the things Twe and others are doing, when it was announced that the coastal highway is about to start, the African Development Bank has committed funding, I'm like, Liberia doesn't have the capacity to borrow close to $1 billion. So how is the African Development Bank doing its appraisal to appraise Liberia and qualify Liberia for such a loan? That was the point where I reached and said, but then I need to investigate this thing because it doesn't make sense to me. African Development Bank due diligence process knows Liberia limitation in borrowing. Why would they want to borrow Liberia money to build a coastal highway? And the cost of the coastal highway is over $400 million. Then my investigation started. What we found was African Development Bank, I wrote them. I have one of my colleagues work there. I called her. She provided the information to me. I said, but it's not sufficient. I went on your website. I pulled down the data. I analyzed it. This is what I found. Can you confirm that this information from your website is accurate about Liberia portfolio of the African Development Bank? And this is the communication the bank sent to me from the Department of the DAR. That the information obtained from the site that you will put up later is accurate about African Development Bank portfolio in Liberia. So put all the information that the bank says is accurate. The link, the chart. This is the information that the bank says is accurate. From 1967 to July 2023, African Development Bank's portfolio in Liberia is 410 million. The sector that constitutes most of the money or receive most of the money is the infrastructure sector. Is there to call it transportation, over 100 million. So for the length of time, the African Development Bank entire portfolio is less than the amount of money required to face the coastal highway. So how is it possible that this bank will spend less, will be having as a portfolio less than what you are claiming the bank will spend on your coastal highway? So that's how we concluded that the story is fake. It's only intended to send out the message to the public that George has succeeded, since there is this criticism that he promised coastal highway and he cannot get funding for coastal highway. So they release the information to mislead the public that, oh yeah, the president succeeded. The
Thank you very much.
Then we'll fund it and then we'll go to election.
Thank you very much. Mo Ali, you work under Madam Salif government. You work at that ministry. Why Samuel Twe is doing this to the Liberian people? Under 90 days to election, he's trying to have the president mojo. He is saying that, listen, we got this thing, we're going to run with it. Not only Abula Meme, we have another document coming up. Folks reached out again from another umbrella wing, and they said, listen, this is a lie. Semetua is telling a lie. Mo Ali, talk to us. Why Semetua deceiving George Manawea, and why is he doing this to Liberia?
So firstly, let me say thank you to Amula Mame for the research and all those that have put effort in this. Stanton, you know that the foundation of this government is built on lies, especially when it comes to development. Most of the things they've said about development have turned out to be lies. And this rural project, I thought when I saw it, my first instinct told me that it is political, it is intended for campaign purposes and nothing more, nothing less. It is the same way they are fooling people with that RIA highway. You drive on that road now, by the time you reach from ERW Junction to RIA, your car chakla already. They've talked about Bali Island, that turned out to be lie. They talked about bringing in 6,000 Nigerian teachers, it turned out to be lie. They talked about bringing wheat factory from China, it turned out to be lie. They talked about bringing in airplane, Air Liberia. What we saw from that Air Liberia was cake. They party and ate that cake the same day. They talked about this Eton loan, it turned out to be lie. They talked about the Igbo math loan, it turned out to be lie. They boasted around here about what they think the MCC challenge, they won, they passed, they were going to bring 300 plus million, it turned out to be lie. So just count all of the development initiatives they've talked about. They are all lies. So this road issue, Samuel Twe is so much believed by the president. President Weah sees Samuel Twe as the most educated and the most knowledgeable person in the world. That whatever Samuel Twe tells him is the truth. So Samuel Twe will just go and sit down and bring out something and say, Mr. President, this is what is happening, and the president believes it. So these things are built on the foundation of lies. Whatever you are hearing about road, connectivity, the coastal highway, is for campaign purposes. And I bet you this is what Samuel Twe is going to tell President Weah, and this is one thing President Weah is going to campaign on. I'm happy that there are people in the opposition who will be able to do quick research. You know, the war is now advanced. This is a technological age. By the time you say something, people on the internet researching, in seconds they will tell you, my man, you're not talking the truth. So it is a horrible thing, but that's why the government has not succeeded in any capacity. They have built everything on lies. Everything is built on lies. Salary is built on lies. They cut people's salary, they lie to them. They say that IMF said the Macaulay, IMF did not tell you to employ 20, 30,000 incompetent people into government, and you reach a point where you could not take them off from government. So all these things, you know, we seen them, we are not surprised. The airplane cake, yeah, they ate it and no airplane came.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is very horrible. Let me go to Gibson. Gibson, on the front page newspaper today, Liberian government and African Development Bank to commence construction of Liberia 444 kilometer coastal highway this year. Gibson, if you read the front page story, our brother Rottness here, it's not adding up. On a lame duck session, and folks have reached out to the African Development Bank. They are saying Samuel Twe is lying. How can you run a newspaper business? How can a credible newspaper run with this mess from Samuel Twe?
Well, first of all, I'd like to be very careful how I talk to my colleague because I know that news stories, there are different elements of news that we consider. We call some are official, some are controversial, 8 of them. And once any of them fall in that category, you publish them. So I believe this is one of the official news. It's coming from the permanent person, an eminent person. Therefore, they have to publish it because it's coming from an eminent individual. They may not necessarily believe the content, but I believe at the end of that story, usually what I would put there will be investigation continues. Or we are yet to receive an independent confirmation that this deal is probable. If they have those kind of clauses or sentences, it help the public to know that you publish a story, but you don't have all the details. So that's what I would say about that. But again, Mo Ali said it very well. You know, this government has thrived on lies. For me, me and my county are victim of the same lie. 3 times the government of Liberia has lied to the people of Grand Jeddah that the road and the southeastern road was going to be made. They have transferred, they have postponed it 3 times, and they are scheduling it for November again this year, which is going to be another lie. This is just another piece of the many lies that the government has told. Samuel Twe is a crafty man. He is the Gina in George Weah closet. And like Mo said, whatever Samuel Twe says, it goes. And Mahmoud, Ambula, thank you very much for that analysis. Because for me, when I read that story, when I heard it first, I think I heard it first on one of the radio stations, and I said, what? Now, just when the election is 3 months away and the African Development Bank is going to commit itself to George Weah for a contract, I'm not sure of that. You know, these are things that are very, very, but if 1967 to 2023, if the portfolio for Liberia, that means the money that the bank has set aside to give Liberia or has been giving Liberia, if it is 410 million and additional millions of dollars is going to be dished out outside of the portfolio, that is the question Liberia need to ask the government. How is that possible? For me, I don't think it's possible, and I think this is just a charade. It's a public relation scheme. And I'm seeing Sekou Kalasco Damaro. He's laughing at the same time. He's jeering at Mo Ali when Mo Ali was speaking. Those are things we need to get to the bottom of it. And I think we shouldn't stop at this. We shouldn't stop at this. We all should get involved into this to get to the bottom of it. How is the government going to win this millions of dollars when the portfolio set aside by the World African Development Bank is just 10 million, which is very much it's unbelievable.
Thank you very much, Gibson. Thank you. And listen, guys, we are doing extremely well. Let me bring in Johnny real quick, and we can run down the table because we have other story. But again, we just got to understand, Liberian government on the front page newspaper, an African Development Bank to commence construction on Liberia 444 kilometer coastal highway this year, which is a lie. If you read the story, Samuel Twe convinced President George Weah, and the president saying, "Oh, we love the idea. Thank you." The entire coastal highway corridor span approximately 444, and is estimated to cost 430 million. Everything is about election hype. Everything is about to convince the people. And when you have Samuel Twe and the rest of his folks that understand that the best way for them to continue stealing is to convince Liberians that their working is terrible. And the president fell for it. The president of Liberia fell for it. But talk to me, Johnny. Johnny, you're muted. Chairman Byron, unmute Johnny, please. Johnny, you are muted. Tell Byron to unmute you. Let me go to Alpha Singh Fadiga. Fadiga, talk to us, please. Unmute Fadiga.
I'm multitasking. Man, my man, with this government, Mo Ali, you ran out of some of the things to say. You forgot the mineral swap from China, where they were swapping everything in the ground. You missed that too. I don't know how you missed that. When it came from now, China summit, while every other government got something, Samuel Twe said they were going to swap everything. The Igbo math too. They were doing, how they call, what other thing that they said they were doing. Look, this government is a criminal enterprise. These guys came to power to loot this country, and it is showing before our very eyes. Some of us saw it way couple of years ago. The sad thing about this government and the deception just have become a slap in the face. Only in Liberia we take 20 years to build one road. I have been to other African countries in the sub-region. At some point, I didn't know that. I just thought it took years to build roads. You go right here to Guinea Conakry. There's a place from Koya to Panelist. These people already finished building the road. The people got almost I don't know how many kilometers stretch of road from the Conakry all the way to Zerekode. The people already finished. Only in Liberia to leave from Ganta to Sani Koli. These Boko been doing it for 6 years and is still doing it. How you know? I had a court case in Sani Koli about a year or two ago that I used to travel on that road. When you travel on the road, you see 2 or 3 Ghanaians on the bridge doing it, and then they get something. Yeah, it's a very youthful country with all the population, no job. They're building a major highway. Only 3 people saying that they say they're doing something. What are all those Minaya jobs that could hire people to be hauling sand and doing something? You'll see 1 Ghanaian, and most of the people were Ghanaian that I saw on the store. And the reason why I brought this is that George Weah quantified success. And this is the classic act. If you look at the pact that George Weah put right to a brawl, even though he was advised against it, they carry on these VIM projects. And that's the mantra of rogue regime, corrupt regime. They scattered so many things, VIM projects, they do not do no feasibility study. It's not backed by any economic viability. They just go around putting the things. Say, you see it? With this thing since 1947, since 1847. Yes, we need park. So they put it right to the broad plate, to that old road junction, so that when everybody come, if he doesn't do anything for the next 6 years, they see something, they say, oh yeah, they got it there, because our people have not seen those things before. They will go and build market stores. They build market stores for people that probably do not need it. So I don't know what we can do with this government, but I mean, it has become a habit. The only solution is in October. They have to go.
Thank you very much, Fadika. Thank you, Fadika. And the president said, before we go back to our brother Johnny, let me read this. President Weah himself convey his sincere appreciation to President Adesina and the entire AFDB for the unwavering commitment to fostering economic development and alleviating poverty throughout the African continent, stated the finance minister. Bold lives. Blah.
It's open now.
Talk to us, Johnny. You're very clear. Talk to us.
All right, so thank you. Let me appreciate my brother Ambula Mame for doing that extraordinary research to help the panelists here to discuss this matter. And this is just an example for the reason why we need to have a man like that, the current scale Moneba serving as Liberia's president, a man who understands these international development negotiations and concepts and activities that involve all of these things. When I heard it on the radio this afternoon or so, I just thought it was going to be, it's a big lie. It's not going to be possible. No development expert. Right here at the Regional Science in Liberia, where I did my master's in development studies at the University of Liberia, the concepts that I learned from there regarding development, if you got an understanding, by just hearing that news, you can trash it. It makes no sense. And you will see the try to tell you, look, okay, this are being approved, and they'll wait for the rain to cease. So election is in October. It's already raining. And we know, obviously, most time in Liberia, when we are building roads, they say raining, let's stop the work. Right here at EDVA Junction, where they are doing the short stretch. The complaint is because it's raining, so they are slowing down. So, I mean, actually, it's good that this topic is coming up, and Liberians need to know these things so they can help in informing their voting process in October 2023. And these things require leadership. So I see a complete leadership gap here. And this is one reason. These international bodies, if we don't have the right leadership that knows how to deal with the international bodies, they themselves will be involved in some of these tricky things, because the AFB should be coming up and say, look, this is not what we are doing. But because of diplomacy or so, they remain quiet and they expect us to make the follow-up to find the information and be able to tell our people. So let me say thank you, my brother Ambula. That was a great way you did to do the research to have the body informed so that we all can discuss this thing and make sure that Liberians cannot be made to accept lies and deception.
Thank you very much. Let me bring it honorable. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, President Weah has done the best he can ever do in his life. I mean, we appreciate his yes, he has done his best, but let's stop deceiving Liberians. It's very bad for you to deceive your own people. That
you say President Weah has done his best?
He has done the best he can do. He can't do more than this.
Is that his best?
Do you think he do more than this, Stanton?
No, I will not call it his best. But anyway, thank you very much.
This is the best he can ever do.
All right.
So,
thank you very much. Just the same president that went on his safari, spent 48 days out of the country, returned back to the country and said to Liberian people, listen, we are bringing $50 million from the Hungary investment. Up to now, that was another lie, a bloody lie.
Blue carbon. Blue
carbon was another big lie of failure. People say, oh, stop lying to the Liberian people. So Samuel Eto'o can lie to the president, but he cannot lie to the rest of the Liberians. Honorable Eugene Lami-Fagon, talk to us on this issue, please, on this topic.
Well, I know I'm going to get criticized. I have been seen sometimes as the most controversial person, but I take on and I chew the bone that most people don't like to chew. I'm not running for any office. I like to say to the Liberian media, the day I decide to run and you decide to kill me in the media, not kill me physically, y'all go ahead. But you people are becoming, most of you people, and I want to qualify my word, the vast majority of the Liberian media, you people are becoming a nuisance. And why do I say so? Because I have spoken to some of you in confidence to run your media institutions, taking into consideration the Liberian people. I see Gibson shaking his head, but it's my time. We were sitting here and we show evidence that Tua wrote a whole long paper, gave it to the media, and they published it about blue carbon. Were you not following? We sat down here. Tua went ahead and talked about General Langley, talking about the CIA headquarters in Liberia. We obtained the video of his appearance before Congress and showed that. How many times will one man make fool out of you, the journalist, and you take it and publish it in your papers and promote him? How many times? Why will you be shaking your head when you just said that you said you will say in your paper investigation will continue? These guys don't say it. They will go and write it as it is and present it to the Liberian people the way Tua gave it to them. You people in journalism are taught to balance your story. You will write things about the situation of people without even calling them. No newspaper ever called Stanton or me for our side of the story when that gentleman did the crazy recording thing and Arthur Johnson was running all around. Look at this kind of disgrace. Where in the world have you seen over $400 million for a project, Gibson, not rectified by the legislature? Where have you seen it? Even your common sense as a journalist should tell you that if Tua is sending this thing to us, then of course it has to be rectified by the Senate, by the legislature, sorry. You don't do due diligence. You don't do either writing anything and giving it to you, and you're just publishing it. And sometimes you will say, I made a poor writer thing. Then you are not a newspaper. You are a propaganda tool. Oh, thank you for the story, Mr. Finance Minister. But what's the source of this story? Who can we talk to? But no. Look at the carbon story. A year before that, and Dr. Francine is here, and Witherspoon is here. It was for the whole world, 50 billion. Turkey and say they did an agreement for 50 billion for Liberia. Liberia alone. Our media people need to stop. Samuel Eto'o cannot continue to make the A word out of our media people. And our media people, they are disgracing themselves. They are disgracing, and I'm the one saying it. Do what you want to do to me. But it has become way to a parent. Just because you want news does not mean you need to give news.
Don't shoot the messenger, please.
What a cut,
My
Gibson.
friend,
Allow
let me
him to
talk.
speak, Gibson. Please.
I'm one person, I'm different. I did not shoot the messenger when they came out with the 50 billion story. I did not shoot the messenger when they came out with the Langley story. I did not shoot the messenger when they're telling us, like today, anybody read the newspaper? Dr. Lester Tenney said Liberia has reduced its inflation to 6.8, contrary to what people say when they met it at 28%. How do you reduce inflation in a country where the US dollar right now is almost 200 to 1? When during early time, you met it 131 to 1. What do you call inflation? Spending money chasing few goods? Do you even have money in the country? Come on, man. I'm speaking to the media. You'll prosecute me tomorrow, but y'all need to stop publishing Samuel 12 lies. You all need to stop. And the evidence is right here. The bank has said it's a blatant lie. 27 million people out of poverty when your population is only 5.2 is a blatant lie. When you talk about the IMF doing harmonization and the IMF compel you, it was a blatant lie. We need to stop. Y'all go build an overhead bridge now from Congo Town. The 2 overhead bridges. Y'all go build that one because our minister, I was one of those who told that lie. But it is a lie. It has not been built. And you're publishing that nonsense continuously. I respectfully submit.
Thank you very much. Before we go to Manpet, welcome to the show. Let me bring Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, talk to us. You have not spoken on this issue.
The question for me is, why are they lying to the Liberian people? And the best way to answer that question for me is that they are incompetent. They don't know what they're doing. They have no skills in terms of how to negotiate for a loan with the international world. So they are going to continue to tell Liberian people false information. The next thing is that, they think that if they lie enough to the Liberian people that they're going to believe it. So they will deceive them. And while they corrupt, they engage in stealing the Liberian people money and become very corrupt. So, and then of course, lastly, sometimes lying is a sign of mental health symptoms. That's what I have to say about that.
Thank you very much. Oh, we're going to put a picture when President William and Senator met the ARA guys, and that will bring you 50 billion, not million. This one is 50 billion blue carbon deal. Up to now, trust me, they were trying to have the fast cut, fast money, but it didn't work. It didn't work. So let's bring in our sister Mepe Gono. If you're just joining us, before you come in, let me just show this thing real quick. This is the front page Africa story of today about what Senator told them to write, that they got the deal, they run it, and that's a lie. It took them forever to build the RIA road. Trust me, Gibson. You are all year, you blame McGill about this thing. It's international. Your public work minister came out and said, you know why? They couldn't do it because the people went bankrupt and that money stayed in the hole, in the red bank. Because guess what? That Senator them were eating the money. We know that. President, we are eating the money. We know. So with these things, they want to do the same thing with this for 444 kilometer Coastal Highway, which of course is another lie. Let's hear from Memphis Gono. Cole, talk to us.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to be here. It does not surprise me at all to see these kind of headlines. These are election times. That is a pure campaign on the part of the government. Our people will not be fooled by that. The bread and butter issues are concerning to our people. They know how they have lived over the last 5 to 6 years. They know the challenges that they have in their communities, whether it's drugs, it's bad rule, it's lack of ability to even feed their families. They know how the condition in which they are living have humiliated them, have separated families. They are aware of these things and they know that this government has massively failed them. The underperformance of this government is even very, very much visible to the blind people. And that there is no way you can fool them with these kind of headlines that, Media houses will be putting out under the name that we were giving this information to protect their own credibility. I think this is nothing but campaign. It is a bluff. I mean, I was in Liberia recently. The RIA is a disaster. That place is, they say it's under construction. It's very dangerous. That place is broken down. Nothing done speedily enough to make it safe for our people. And we are not carried away by this, because no amount of these kind of headlines will change the minds of our people. Come October 10, they are set to vote Honorable Joseph Yuma Boyka as the next president, so that we move this country forward. We're not just going to be developing our country in newspapers, developing them on talk shows. We want to see evidence of our development. And I know our people will make that decision to ensure that the country is taken to the next level. I ask all of your collaboration in order for us to elect Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boyka as the next president of our country to change things for the betterment of our children.
Thank you very much. Thank you. If there any question, you can ask your question, or else we'll move to the next conversation. Gibson, I saw your hand up.
I just have something short to say. You know, everything we say here, Stanton, and it goes to everyone. I don't know, besides Ndebeyan, I'm older than everybody else, including Facon.
Who you older than? Don't let your web here fool you.
Okay, but let me just say this: as a media person, when we tend to denigrate another media institution, we create the impression that the people should not listen to that media institution. It makes it difficult to fight corruption. It makes
I don't know where you guys thinking can come from. We ask questions why the people ran with the story. We are not denigrating from this newspaper. We are not listening, guys. No, nobody should interrupt. I begging your please today. Gibson, let's address this thing one and for all. Even
let me tell you where I'm coming from.
Gibson, hold on. Gibson, hold on. Even Patrick Oka is coming up saying Stanton front page sort of paper, a story that was given to them, and they publish it. Our own thing. The front page carry on an investigation. That's all. We are not denigrating.
No. You see, this is where I'm coming from.
We gotta move. We gotta move to our next story, man.
Let me end my comment. You can move from. But let me end my comment.
We gotta move to our next story. When we come to you, you can advise us. I beg you, man. Let's move on by. You can create story that is not there.
No, but the way Fagon spoke is
that Fagon you won't go after now. So
he won't come after me.
This is what we're talking about. The 50 billion.
There are elements of news that
Gibson, it's okay. Thank you very much, my brother. It's okay.
Let's move on.
Before 1 minute, we do that, Abula, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
So the 1 minute I wanted to, the one thing I want to send through the conversation is the media institution did what they did, and they coined their story, their headlines in a way that can exonerate them.
Yes.
That's what they did. I think that's what we wanted to talk about.
Yes.
So when you put it technically, they will tell you, see my headline.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's what Gibson is saying, because he's a print media man and he want to tell us, but we are not blaming Front Page Africa. We are saying that this story is coming so many different times. Listen to this one. 50 billion in the whole world. Senator came here and the president said they will give Liberia 50 billion. Gibson, where were you? You wasn't on Spoon Talk at the time, Gibson. I believe you're going to run with this story.
But why are you making a thing? You put a headline back up. The headline is not in quotation.
But here's my thing.
This is a newspaper.
But here's my thing. I'm not going to put the headline back up because we got to move on to the next story. We do not have enough time. We do not have enough time. Let me bring you in Mo Ali. Mo Ali, the name for our next story, I will start with you. Again, Mohammed, we say thank you very much, man. A wonderful job, and we hope that we can do this so often. You're not the only person. I'm waiting for someone to call in 20 minutes. They ran with the story as well. They investigated, and they will be coming shortly to talk about this same nonsense Samuel were talking about. But let me go to Mo Ali. Mo Ali, this story about, sorry to say, guys, I have to bring it up real quick. Was Sir Joseph involved in this whole story? Let's talk about the CDC and Sir Joseph involvement. It's very important. I'm hearing that Sir Joseph placed a saving grace call Is that true, Mo Ali? You are the spokesman for the campaign team. Sir Joseph plays a saving grace call that actually free the vice president and save this vice president from the wahala about this 30 million investment. What do you know about it, Mo Ali?
You know, Stanton, we've actually planned not to talk about this thing because even the man who had his press conference wasn't in Ghana. He depended on hearsay. The press conference video has been deleted. But I will tell you this, that whatever offer was made to Ambassador Boakai in Ghana was rejected flatly. Ambassador Boakai is now one person who will stand up to thwart any law in Liberia. He rejected everything because they were discussed. We all know that the story was featured, that there is nowhere any investor will spend 30 million on an election in Liberia, where even NEC is looking for just 60 million to conduct the elections. But more than that, we all understand that election laws are clear on the amount you can spend. We've heard reliably that Sir Joseph made a call to somebody in the US to inform them that he and the government were involved in the scheme and that the scheme was intended to remove Mr. Henry Costa, who we all have been tooting to be our candidate for the Monserrado race. Because
I'm sorry, Mo. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is this a breaking story? Because you are the spokesman for the campaign. You are calling a CDC senator. You just said that he make a call. Make a call to who? Where? For what purposes? We got to dig into this thing.
So,
It's
like I
just
said,
we got to talk about it seriously.
Like I said, we all heard that he made a call, and that was even confirmed by Mr. Costa in his press statement. He mentioned in his press statement that somebody says Sir Joseph made a call. But whatever the case is, whether Sir Joseph made a call or not, it is clear that Sir Joseph was part of this scheme that they sold to Mr. Costa. It is clear that Samuel 12 was part of the scheme. And let me tell you the reason why they've been drawing all of these schemes. The government has conducted several opinion polls. They've conducted several surveys across the country. And they've got to realize that they do not stand a chance of winning. That these elections are opposition elections and that Ambassador Boakai is the front runner in the elections. So they have been trying and finding ways to get rid of Ambassador Boakai from the elections. The first thing they tried was the health issue. They said Boakai is sick. He had will collapse before July. And so we got to find a way to undermine the entire process so that the opposition can be in shambles. They can come together. July coming pass. They say when Ambassador Boakai go for triple heart surgery, he will die. July coming pass will be here. August will pass. September will pass. October 10 will come and the people will elect Joseph Boakai. So whatever way they turn it, our investigations have shown that Sir Joseph has been involved into this deal from the very beginning. It was earlier on intended to get Mr. Costa out of the race, somebody that we've been grooming for this race since 2019, and he allowed himself to fall for it. And at the other end, they say, well, since we've got Costa, let's include Joseph Boakai, who is our main target, into it. But they did not know that we were way ahead of them in everything.
Thank you. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. Let's just bring in the group. And thank you for that, Sir Joseph, information. Johnny, let me start with you, and we'll go to Dr. Richardson thereafter. Johnny, Sir Joseph or sedition, placing a call to Unity Party, to the partisan, and say, Ted Joseph Yima Bwaka, this is a CDC operation. How scary is that?
But first, let me ask my brother Mo. Did the team that traveled from Monrovia to Accra, did they understand the purpose and intent of their travel? Before I go for, did they understand why they were going for this meeting? Did they have any detailed information why they were going to Ghana? Mo, can you please answer now? We'll go forward.
I think you should go ahead to respond to his question.
To whose question?
Respond to Stanton's question.
There is a baby in the background.
That's not my grandson. You know who grandson it is? Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, but look, listen, gentlemen.
Maybe it's Abula.
So let me come back. So here's the point, right?
Okay.
The issue is this, and the issue is this. I wouldn't be here. I received a ticket to travel. I must know the details of my trip. I was going to Lusaka to attend the Summit for Africa, for Democracy. I got all the details. I knew what I was going to be doing there and everything. So that's why I'm asking, why did the team leave from Monrovia to go to Ghana? They didn't know what I was going to do there. If that cannot be...
Did you share that information with the public?
So, but hold on 1 minute. I mean, you get your 2 minutes. Can you finish up? I got to go to Gibson and Dr. Richardson, please.
So that's a question I would like for you guys to answer. So the next thing is, now you see, you get the information where Sir Joseph, a senior person, senior partisan of CDC, is communicating with the Unity Party senior folks. What does that mean to Liberians? For me, this information, Liberians should begin to understand that we should stop killing ourselves for political parties or individuals here. They have their personal relationship. They are doing things in detail. So politics should not cause any one of us to do harm to each other. All people are in relationship with each other. That's what I see from this point, because Sir Joseph also is from Lofa. He's a kissing man. He wouldn't be sitting in the CDC camp and see something happening that he know will undermine his own kissing uncle. And so you play a role.
I don't know what part of Lofa you're from, but you're saying what Sir Joseph did was to save Joseph Yima Bwaka. You're making sedition mad. My brother Gibson, I want to hear from you. You were very strong with all your questions yesterday. But understand what Johnny is saying, though. Sir Joseph did it because he's from Lofa. Sir Joseph is a kissy man. Sir Joseph tried to save Joseph Yima Bwaka. But Sir Joseph's own party, hearing today that he placed the saving grace call. Gibson, talk to us.
You know, I think what I heard from Mo Ali looks like Sir Joseph was trying to discuss the issue with somebody, and the person seems to have informed the Unity Party. If I'm correct, Mo Ali, let me know. But Mo Ali, your explanation brought more questions.
No, I think you're not correct. And let me correct you while you continue thereafter, please.
Yeah.
Sir Joseph placed a call to inform Unity Party and Joseph Yima Bwaka.
Oh, okay. If that that is strange indeed. You know, many things are happening. It's like the pro temp giving Dara Delon money to go and run his campaign that beat the CDC. It's just almost the same thing. So it looks like the CDC folks, and David said maybe because of his nephew or uncle rather is going to be harmed by this. But the major question is, I think Sir Joseph, if he's working in that situation, I think he's working specifically to expose Costa. I think that's the way I see it. But the problem here now is, when did that information come? Did that information come before the trip was made, or did the information come after the trip was made? That is where it's a little bit murky. So, Mo Ali, you were on that trip. You tell us what happened.
No, I wasn't on any trip.
Okay.
I wasn't on any trip. We heard that information, the Sir Joseph information, after. After the trip.
I see.
By then, JMB had rejected every offer that was made.
Okay. You know, this is, Stanton, to be honest with you, this is the best explanation I've heard so far about this thing. I think Mo Ali did well to explain up to this point. If we have further questions in the future, we'll keep looking at it. But he did well, Mo Ali, and I think people like Fadika will not be able to explain that.
No,
I'll
wait
just
for
pause.
Fadiga. Wait for Fadiga to come in on this one. Dr. Richardson. Thank you, Gibson. Dr. Richardson, though, hearing the name Sir Joseph, Senator Sir Joseph, placing that saving grace call to Joseph Yima Boakai and his team, members of his party, amen, or sedition Sir Joseph, saying, you don't go for that thing, it's CDC operation. You tell my uncle, because that's how he called Joseph Yima Boakai his uncle. You tell my uncle not to believe it. It's all cemetery operation. And it was also added. You heard us saying room 309 Royal? No. It was 309 Boulevard Palace. The guy named Emmanuel, he belonged, cemetery is paying for that guy in that room. Emmanuel is his name. That's where he lived. That's where cemetery can go host his meeting. And that's why it was held at Boulevard Palace, the wonderful 309 room. So when Sir Joseph and all these people and the information start coming out, Sir Joseph said, no. He spoke Gisi because the gentleman he called was a Gisi gentleman and said, tell my uncle, your operation was to get Costa out of the senatorial race, but now they are using Costa to get you. Talk to me, Dr. Richardson. I'm listen. This is crazy.
There's two things that are going through my mind. The first thing is about leadership. I think we've been talking about this, over the past couple of days. I want to join Gibson and Nibbit to ask, why did the vice president travel? What information did he know before getting on a plane for 1 or 2 hours or 45 minutes? It's a big deal. So what information did he know? Why didn't he ask for the information? So it suggests to me, again, a level of clinical judgment, but a level of judgment, a level of poor judgment. On the other hand, Sir Joseph seeming to be the saving grace, as you said, doesn't really impress me, Stanton, because here it is, he's been deceptive as well. He's deceiving. He knew about information relating to Twe and other people in the government, but then he's running to go tell his uncle. Would he have done that for somebody else? Is it because they are from the same tribal group? Is it because of tribalism? So all of those questions just kind of the question stays in my head.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Let me bring in Honorable Fagon. We'll finish up with Abula, and Al-Hussein Mempe will take us home on this conversation. The Honorable Eugene Lamin Fagon.
Well, thank you for calling my full name by way of introduction. I'm Eugene Lamin Beyang Betuma Fagon. I'd like for you to add that name there. I love Beyang Betuma. And the reason why I'm adding that name, I want the Liberian people to listen to me and listen very well. Just now, Stanton, you said this thing took place in Boulevard Hotel, not Royale. I stand to be corrected. That's what you just said. But Costa, in his press conference, said it took place in 309 Royale. You and Costa, who talking the truth now, I don't know. You said that Sir Joseph called the people and said, you tell my uncle not to fall for that thing. Mo Ali said the old man had already rejected the thing before they got the call from Sir Joseph. You're confusing the people. You say again, Costa, Sir Joseph made this call and said, oh, they think that the CDC thing, blah, blah, blah. According to Costa in his press conference, Sir Joseph called JMB to tell JMB that he, Costa, had planned with the doctors to kill him. This is Costa. Costa says Sir Joseph called JMB to tell him, JMB, that he Costa had planned with doctors that when he go on that surgery, he will not come from there. You're confusing the people. My June will come for all of your stand-on. Because I need to know the truth. You're confusing me. Y'all got my hair hurting. Gibson, don't laugh. I don't like your business. You're making my hair hurt. Costa say, Royal, you can't say profile. The other man say, Sir Joseph, get the information. At that time, the paper had rejected it already. But then, Costa say, Sir Joseph told the paper, say, he say now what? Costa now try to tell them to kill you. Then you stand there and say, Sir Joseph say, call and say, you tell my uncle not to tell that you're confusing the people. The only thing I get to say, that Francine, you all right? That Francine, you all right?
I mean, do your 2 minutes now. We gotta go. Leave that Francine alone.
Because you're confusing that Francine. Now she just asking questions now, which one she's all to believe. But what I can say here is this.
What are they confused me about, Mr. Fagon?
Lead the man, let the man. Let him finish. That's Francine, let him finish. Let him finish.
No, let me give you a summary.
That's why he wanted. He wants you to talk. That's a Francine. Listen, he wants you. No. He wants you to talk. Leave him. Ignore him. Just ignore the man.
That's Francine, you all right? Because just imagine he talked almost 3 times before he listened to me. I said, Dr. Francine, you all right? Well, you are lost. So I was scared for you, man. I was scared. Because you don't know die, I will cry.
Let me bring in Fadiga. Thank you, Fagon.
No,
Fadiga, let me say this.
Let me finish. I got 10 seconds.
Yeah, but hold
what
on.
I'm trying to say, whatever may have happened, I have one thing to say to everybody here. The timing of Costa press conference. In my 38 years of Liberian politics, 38 unbroken years, that tells you my age. Costa press conference was meant to be a distraction from the JMB trip that had gained momentum from Magibi to Bong to Nima, never seen in the history of Liberia. So
where were you practicing the 38 years? I was in Liberia.
Right wait, Jason, why you can't leave Fagon? Let him do his thing.
No, he taking votes from yeah, because every time you attack Fagon, 4% leave from you and come. The only Abdullah Mande are waiting for. And you see how Al Hussein used to attack me? Al Hussein on JMB team. In Debe told somebody yesterday confidentially that no matter what,
you will support JMB, that your uncle.
But man, I beg you, man. Don't be acting to me, man. I beg you to me.
I don't worry. Gibson will come true.
Don't come to me.
I respect for the subject.
Let me say this. It is important for us to know. Hold on, I beg you, Johnny, I beg you. Let me say this thing. There's a reason why you see Fagon talking like this.
You really
listen, hold on, I beg you. But hold on, Johnny. Fagon be brother. Fagon be brother as Sir Joseph. Fagon be brother as Sir Joseph. You hear the speed that Fagon came back. Johnny wait now. John wait. Fagon, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
The Liverpool cannot leave the air behind.
Guys, you're listening. There's a reason why, Johnny, I beg you, sir. There's a reason why. There's a reason why you see Fagon jumping up and down on this issue. We'll come back to it. Fagon, you confused? I'm sorry. I cannot help you. We have the data on the show. You get a special from her. 1 hour special, she will help you.
You eat Boulevard Hotel. The other man eat Royal.
I can't help you. Let me bring it. The other thing you try to call for Sir Joseph. Sir Joseph placed that phone call and he was a saving grace. Let's see this deal with Sir Joseph. Hussein, talk to me how important it is. That call that was placed by Sir Joseph, and he was speaking Kisi, right? It's not the first time CDC accused Sir Joseph. There's a sense that Joseph said he built all his many colleges in the country. Jowea refused to even visit any of the campuses because George Manawia, he doesn't trust Sir Joseph. There's something between Sir Joseph and Jowea cannot get along. Sir Joseph knows it very well. So it was those are the reasons Sir Joseph so afraid. He said, I must save my uncle Joseph Yimabwaka, and he did. Talk to me, Fadiga.
We talk about what trip you to Kanta and other places.
Fadiga, talk to me. Leave that man alone. That's Joseph. That's Joseph, brother.
I mean, the bottom line here is this. When you start seeing mass defection, where people like Sir Joseph, you start seeing people giving news, all of that, you must know that that's a sign of a crumbling regime. Whenever the regime is reaching at the final stage, people start to defect. People start to give information. So, I mean, that's a good sign that this regime is on its last leg. But we got more important things to discuss. And I will keep telling you guys to mind your business. This is a private matter. Let Johnny talking about a trip. Did you announce your trip when you were going? You said I was going to Europe.
To Lusaka.
To Lusaka.
On
Did you
Facebook.
announce your trip on radio?
They were on Facebook.
Well, yeah, we put it on Facebook. All we do
No,
is say sorry.
did you know the intent of your trip? That's why I ask you. Did you know the intent of your trip?
Why you can't mind your business?
We're not minding, but they were public business.
No. The thing is
Johnny, stop interrupting the man. Johnny, I beg you, let the brother speak, please.
Look, the bottom line here is few days ago, we saw this stream moving from Monrovia, went to Magibi. That tsunami followed to Bon County. Now it's in Nima County. I mean, we do not want this momentum to die. What this press conference was meant to do, it didn't happen. No crime was committed. And you know, you can question a man's integrity if somebody look. How many of you ain't looking for comments all the way in Nigeria? You're in Nigeria, you're here, everybody looking for money here and there. It's a campaign season. But the bottom line here is we have an individual that have proven that he is trustworthy. That if they assume, I told some other guys the other day, I said, for the sake of the argument, let's assume that $30 million were on the table. This man walked away from $30 million. How many Liberians will walk away from $10 million, $10,000, or even $5,000? Look, when Liberians men hungry, the first thing they do, they eat their integrity. That's the first thing they do. And we saw this man. Look, Costa is a very convincing con artist. He look, people, I do not like the guy. Now it's not personal for personal reason, you know. It's not personal, but I just do not like his behavior. But the fact of the matter here is, this man is not only eloquent, but he well on enormous support within our community. We cannot discount that. He has a lot of youthful people following him for whatever reason. You know, we cannot discount that. So he is convincing. But the fact of the matter here is his plot failed. It only showed that the wisdom of Ambassador Boyka. So let us focus and redirect our energy.
What about the Sir Joseph issue? I'll beg you before we go to Memphis.
Sir Joseph, we have so many Sir Joseph. And they ask you Abachi brought or the 20 truck, 20, how they call it, how many? Abachi brought 25 people the other day. So it coming. We need it. You know, I don't think it's a big deal.
So you welcome the idea that Sir Joseph should play
anything that will come our way.
Wow.
We welcome it. You know.
Wow.
Anything
Thank you very much.
way, welcome it.
And let me keep you last. Let me go to Abula. Abula, I am shocked.
Me too.
Senator Sir Joseph to place that phone call to save his uncle, to disrupt the plan from Sumner 12, President Weah, or how you call it, Nathaniel Miguel. You know, and said this is fake. We saw that your daughter, Tidia Ure, she was at that meeting. The plane that took Joseph Yiman Boaga, there was a gentleman on that plane that was even talking. The Ghana individual they met that is so hungry, live in Ghana. Sir Joseph, personal friend, he's very, very hungry. They gave him small money to represent one of the investors. We got his picture. The white man that was there, a hungry white man, but they gave the man money as well. But Sir Joseph said no. The only reason why I was trying to discourage Costa and doing everything that Costa shouldn't run for the senatorial seat. But when Senator Twain came into the picture to use that opportunity, and they said they increased the money from 20 million to 30 million, Sir Joseph said, I must call Joseph Yima Boakai and his family because he is my uncle. And he did. I want you to talk to me, Abula. This is scary. CDC is done.
That is by responding twofold. That is what they call inside trading. So there was from the theory we're getting around, right? There's an agenda to get Costa out of the race, strangulate Joseph Boakai, whatever way they thought they could. Once Sir Joseph realized that Costa was already out of the race and his seat was comfortable, then he was in the position to expose the rest of the other secret. That's why he went to his uncle and revealed to his uncle the agenda. But there's a motive behind that. Sir Joseph has presidential ambition. He believes that George Weah is the most popular person in the CDC. And by all measures, he's the next most popular person in the CDC. If Weah consolidates power, and because they don't have a good relationship now, if Weah consolidates power in the second round, Weah could handpick his successor. But if Weah is defeated in 2023, Sir Joseph could be an alternative. So he would prefer Joseph Boakai defeating George Weah so he can present himself as an alternative, both from vote-rich Lofa and vote-rich Monserrado County. That is Sir Joseph working. But beside all those theories and speculation, there is something important I want to point out on this identical issue. One, whether it is true or lie, a statement that there is an individual or group of business people who are willing to spend 30 million in Liberia to change leadership has created a shockwave of attention with Liberia's most trusted diplomatic partners, America. America is concerned, who are these individuals that want to change leadership in Liberia? What are they interested in? That they want to spend 30 million to change leadership. What political and diplomatic interests they have? Does their interest align with America's interests? Those are the factors America is investigating now. And everybody associated with that transaction is currently under surveillance. Yeah. That's one thing we need to pay keen attention to. The last thing is, Gonglo will never go to a meeting to talk with investors regarding money for election in that manner and form. Those are the reasons why when people win election, they can make independent decisions. Because the process to election itself is corrupted.
Thank you. Beautiful.
If Waka went to Ghana, like it is being confirmed, even though Hassan denied it the other time, and he went there on people's trip, they pay a visa fee, they pay a transportation, they pay a hotel. I mean, let you get the people money back.
Thank you very much. Let me bring in our sister Kou. Mepe, take us home on this topic, and we'll bring the next one.
Well, thank you again. This topic concerning Sir Joseph, I just want you to know that regarding what Mr. Brother Mami said, election times, as Fatiga said, people are interested in candidates. I've been around several campaigns. It's true, people can say, oh, I would like to help your campaign. I would like you to come for us to sit and talk. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I saw Johnny shaking your head. Oh, you went to look for money. What wrong with going to look for money? What kind of money and what you agree to is what matters. And the man rejected anything that he felt undermines the interests of his country and his credibility. If I tell you there are some people waiting to sponsor your campaign, we have ticket, come and travel and see, nothing wrong with it. People travel all around raising funds. But the conditions that he objected to, that's what shows his integrity. And we applaud him for that. With the Sir Joseph issue, let me tell you something. You know, I say again, because of proximity, I like to be careful. Let me leave my brother's story as he placed it out there. But even as he placed it out there, there is one thing that is being established here. This was a scheme against Mr. Costa. I do not believe Mr. Costa playing anything to say that me go defraud the papi. I feel he fell victim. He's a man who was genuinely supporting old man Joseph Yima Boyka. When they saw the strength in his support, what they decided to do? Costa talks too much whole day. He attacking other people for Joseph Boyka. Let's split up this support. But that was the thinking of a lot of people. But my own interpretation of the situation, if you put me now as an independent person seeing it, the initial motive was the Senate race. And I will tell you guys why I think it's the Senate race. Yeah, the CEO is back again. I will tell you guys why it is the Senate race. Look at the time the 309 room, whether at Boulevard or Royal Conversation came into play. That was when Mr. Henry Costa arrived with 15-man delegation to launch his senatorial bid. When they saw the massive support that he put out around the Unity Party headquarters, and people talking about this young man, this is his time, Sir Joseph got scared. Henry did not plan to fool the old man. I know how Henry has spoken to me about Joseph Yima Boyka, how he feels about him, how he believes the old man could change Liberia. But you know what happened? People will not want to believe Henry 100%, but I will give him this credit. When those people approach him, if that meeting did happen, the kind of order I put it in my mind, logical order. And maybe Henry was aware of his limitations in terms of political growth and say Boyka is poised for the presidency. Let me not take this money. I kind of like the old man. Maybe the old man and myself can go together. When
but you know, remember, you want to talk, but you won't talk. You don't waste our time. You want to talk. But then don't talk. Let's move on.
Give my time. Let me talk now.
Man, you want to talk and you like going, coming. Talk let's move on or don't talk.
Don't give me a chance, man. So listen, I want us to catch our logic there.
No, you were talking earlier today. Talk.
I know the young man, the press conference angered a lot of people, but I want you to understand that I believe he was trapped by people who did not want Boyka. But the first thing was not wanting Boyka. The first thing was the Senate race that scared Sir Joseph. So when they put the plot up, the point was, Costa, we give you 30 million. You are popular in Liberia. You can run for the presidency. From what he told me, when he said no, they struggled with having him to accept it. Then later on, they said, we'll get back to you. You know why they struggled? Because their focus was simply on the Senate race. Now the man is telling us no. He won't go number 2. But we were coached to tell him this. We need to go back with whether that's Sir Joseph or whoever and say, this is what we met up with. I believe that it was intended to take him from the Senate race. They successfully did that. I also hear about the call with Sir Joseph. I also want to believe Costa on that call. Because you know what happened? In His Excellency George Weah is surrounded by a lot of sycophants, a lot of people who are not happy with his own regime from within, and they are waiting for time to say, oh, we were just there. Oh. We used to tell the man used to listen. By the way, Sir Joseph never called Joe Boyka his uncle. That's not his uncle. That's his father. Keke. As the Kissy would say, Johnny uncle there. That's not Sir Joseph. Sir Joseph is from the Kissy tribe. It's identity politics again. People don't like to look at it. You see a father from his
Thank you. We'll come back to you, Mepe. We gotta go on. Let's go to Mo Ali.
Yes, but
because it's like I know you are in. No. I know that
you are 1 minute of my time to complete.
Right,
no, because Mepe is very. Listen, guys. Listen, Mepe. You don't have to talk if you don't want to talk. But then don't
I want
walk
to
us.
talk. What I want to talk is why I'm talking. You can't pin my mouth. What I'm talking, why I want to talk is what I'm talking.
I know this thing hard for you. This thing hard for you.
No, nothing hard for me. Senator, stop distracting me.
Your proximity make this thing hard for you.
No, you all said there's a suspicion about Sir Joseph motive. I too agree that there's a suspicion because the man had traveled to launch a Senate bid. But the point here I want us to look at Bossa Joseph tonight, as Mambe said, he has his own ambition within the CDC. But he's a traitor to the party. Seditions must order a citizen arrest for him under the Sergeant. He betrayed the party. That is why seditions and to join us and vote Honorable Wilmot P. as the next senator of Monserrado County. Because Joseph is a betrayer to the party. He instigated things, he planned things that even made today. You do not have Henry Costa, who have been a supporter of Ome Joseph Yima Boyka on the train today. All this is because of Joseph's manipulative behavior.
Thank you very much.
He will
elect
Wilmot P as the next senator of
Mepe, thank you. That will
Mo Ali, can you give me 30 seconds of your time? Mo Ali, can you give me 30 seconds?
No. Mo Ali not sharing time yet. We can't do it. Mo Ali, can I give you 1 second? 1 penny second, you cannot give it to you. Even if it's free, we'll take it for you and give it to somebody else. Mo Ali, talk to us.
So let me firstly clarify something. When JMB went to Ghana, nobody paid his hotel bill. I know people see something flowing around here, some pro forma invoice. Pro forma invoice is not equated to a receipt. Receipt at the time you finish paying the money. Pro forma invoice, anybody can get it. I can go anywhere and get pro forma invoice. So nobody pay. Let me tell you, people think that Joseph Boakai is the man you can just ride on. But man, if JMB that man could just ride on, certain decisions were going to go our way. There are many decisions, but he is very meticulous in decision making. He is calculative. This is the reason why we are behind him. And Brother Mame, Councillor Gonglo would never go to such meeting, this and that. In our traditional Liberian society, they say you do not refuse the call, but you can refuse what is in the call. The second thing is you attend some of these meetings to understand the inner workings of some of these cartels and the corruption they want to carry on. To understand, to fight something is to be aware of what is existing. Mr. Baka goes to the meeting is no problem. Had he accepted the proposals from the meeting, then we have a problem. Then by this time, Costa would have been his running mate. If there were any 30 million, but let me tell you, the first place I doubted anything is for any investor to say, I can't give a campaign in Liberia 30 million. That is the first point of doubt. Government left from here, they went to Morocco. When president was going for 48 days, we tackled them. Everybody tackled them. The only thing they could come up with, they say, oh, but we're getting reward from the trip. Some Hungarian coming spend 48 million, 50 million. Hungary were over there, they're suffering their head right now. The war is going on in Ukraine, they're suffering their head, they're begging all over for the war to start. Now, they want to spend 50 million in Liberia. The next thing will load, they
50
say,
billion. That million.
Oh, the 50 billion is different. The
for
50 billion
for blue carbon.
For Morocco.
Oh yeah, 50. Yeah. My man, just put all the number together, man. The people ain't got, they are bloody liar, man.
They went to Qatar. After we thought, they say, oh, bringing 50 metric ton of sugar palm oil for you. 50 metric ton. Then I also want to look out for campaign. The government can send 20 million.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
Government can send 20 million loan with World Bank, with RDA. It becomes news for the whole week. I'm telling millions somebody will get in through in.
Thank you, Mo Ali. We gotta move on. Folks, this is very serious. At this time of the day, Gibson.
Please give me 30 seconds, man. 30 seconds, please.
Go ahead, Gibson.
Look, Mo Ali, I always tell people I respect you. I respect you, even though JMB booted you out of your position unjustifiably, but I still respect you. You
You
can't
got
deny
15
that you know the
seconds.
name
You
of
got
the man
15
that-
seconds left.
But when it's not how you can be counting my own or second fast like
Oh,
that.
man, you're in trouble, man. You're in trouble on the show.
Okay,
there were 318 votes.
Let me bring in Dr. Richardson. Let me bring in Dr. Richardson. No, I beg you, Dr. Richardson got to come in from where she sit, the ANC representative CPP. Dr. Richardson, we're about to play the video of Mr. Cummings' response to Costa press statement. You care to speak before we play that video?
No, I just wanted to make myself clear that JNB going to Ghana is suggests a leadership issue. I think I said that before, and Fagon was asking me what did I say, and I just want to repeat myself. And I think Sajo's involvement in this whole scheme is concerning. I think he was deceptive to his party members, and he needs to be investigated. And third, I think it's an issue. Anytime a political candidate is going to another country to get money from a foreign agent, it's a problem for me. So I wouldn't say that, everybody collect money from anywhere. I believe that foreign agents should not be involved in our election, because what happens after that, those foreign agents can influence decisions in the government. And that's where I stand on that.
Thank you very much. Let's play the Mr. Cummings clip. Just to where we're gonna. My name is Stanton. Not testicle. Don't call me testicle. My name is Stanton.
I said 10 seconds. 10 seconds. I'm saying 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay, go ahead.
So you see, I asked one question that is bordered around leadership, and I know my young brother Fadiga knows exactly what I'm pushing towards. So today he found it difficult to respond to the question, but I mean, my uncle Joe Walker is invited to Ghana. I mean, the scenario that Mo say, oh, you can go to court and get. This issue is not at that level, Mo. The point is, you are a potential president of Liberia. Why will you go for a visit that you have no understanding about, no content? Why are you going for? Because I believe Uncle Joe, if he knew exactly all that happened you're talking about, he would have said, I'm not going anywhere. So he aligned himself to travel to a place before going to go here. What happened? So that's what I'm saying. You guys put the old man in a very difficult position. You people are giving him all the details. You are going to this conference or to this meeting for X or Y reasons. Then he would have said, no, if that's the case, then I'm not going. So I mean, this is scary for me to see my uncle being moved around like this, with Apple giving him proper guardians, proper. I mean, the man's a leader.
Sorry. I'm very sorry. You are right, Johnny. I'm very sorry for your uncle that you will be supporting in the second round. You are right to fight. You are right to say what you are saying, because your uncle deserves better. I'm so sorry for Johnny. Let's play the Mr. Cummings clip. Then we can talk about it, please.
I'm seeing Vice of Liberia out there. They appeal to you for the completion of the nomination process. But this is my question. Yesterday we listened to Mr. Henry Costa. He makes some revelation, and he even talks about the field lawsuit, the proposed field lawsuit against you was orchestrated by former Vice President Joseph Nimabwaka. What do you have to say to this?
Well, to the extent what Henry Costa said is true. One, it's not surprising because we sort of knew. Still very disappointing that these false allegations that have been made against me. But look, we move on. Liberians know the allegations were false, were untrue. We wasted a lot of time in court and resources to be exonerated because there was no basis. And we move on. My focus now is to make my case, Constitutional Bronxman, and I make our case to Liberian people to give us a chance to serve them and to restore good governance, economic growth, and jobs to Liberia. That's the thank you so much.
All right. That's the voice of Dr. Richardson, stand-up bearer, Mr. Alexander Cummings. His focus is to make his case. The wasted a lot of time in the court. Let's take a spin on this from any which way. Mr. Cummings said, my focus is to make my case. Does he have any further case to be made to the Liberian people? At this time, folks, according to this race, a two-person race. George Banawea and Joseph Yimambuaka. Mr. Cummings is running against Tewan Gonglo and Clarence Moruba for the third or fourth position. This is very important and very concerning. He make mention of our sister Sharon Bronskin. Say we, but Sharon Bronskin, is she just a deadweight on the party? You think that she have brought Mr. Cummings to his lowest low? You think she have elevated him thus far? Let me go to Honorable Fagon Hussein, and I'll bring in the rest of the other guys that run in third or fourth place with Mr. Cummings. Honorable Fagon.
First of all, let me commend Mr. Cummings because I think he's learning. He deserves a certificate of participation, and I think we'll give him a grade. Because, and that's why, if you took note of me, I just rubbished the whole thing about the Costa thing, because in my honest opinion, it is a distraction. So if you listen to Cummings, he was very clear and emphatic that I want to focus on my message. Meaning, somebody will not go sit down and screw their life up and think that I am going to be the guy here. Instead of focusing on what I can do, will do, and trying to get votes, I should be discussing a now political consumer goods of no value. Let me put it that way. Because right now, Mr. Costa is not of value to the ANC. Mr. Costa is not of any value to the CDC, as demonstrated by the fact you saw him pull down his own video. Mr. Costa is not of any value right now. I'm using the word right now because right now, to the Unity Party. So even in debate, Costa will not be of value to him right now. Costa is under immense tension. So you heard him. He said, I'm going to focus. So right now, I join him too. As I said today, and I will say again, I rubbish this thing. What I want to do is focus. What happened when JMB went to Magibi? What happened when JMB went to Banga? What do we know when JMB went to Nimba? What really happened there? Did you know that it was JMB who initiated the Jackson F. Doe Hospital in Tapeta? Did you know that? Did you know that it was a guy by the name of Edwin Gay who won the election and took JMB to that project? And JMB was very instrumental in that project, brought in the Liberian Agency for Community Empowerment. They couldn't do it. And he and Gay went to the Chinese. Should we play the video here? So why did we lose track of the kind of momentum that JMB built in Kakata, in Banga, in Ganta, only to discuss something that would have never happened ever in our lifetime? Who in the right frame of mind, when I'm speaking, people like Gibson laughing like, yeah, they got it ready. Who in the right frame of mind comes to a country looking at George Weah, looking at Boakai, looking at Prince Johnson, Cummings, and them who came from 1 to 5th place, and look at you, a boy who just graduated from college, 40 years old, have never worked a day in government. Mind you, it was the same Costa who said that Cummings had not done anything in government before. And at the end of the day, look at you and tell you, I got 30 million. I did a survey. You can win. What would be the motive? What that person stand to gain? So I am saying to you, I said to Mr. Cummings' response, brilliant. I am a politician. You do not allow yourself to be distracted. If there is anything, Twer was successful in distracting the Liberian voters from the gains made by the visit of Ambassador Joseph Nyuma Boakai to Magibi, to Bong, and to Nimba, the footages from over there would have declared this election over immediately. And I close by saying, if you cannot win in Lofa, you know with Prince Moi and the others, you will not win in Bong. You will not win in Nimba. You definitely know what happened in Magibi. And you know the history of Bolsonaro. My friend, you cannot win in Kumi's backyard. Even though he does not have a house in Maryland, but James Barney, James Barney, and the rest of the crew, I can tell you for free, Maryland is gone. Joseph Newman Parker's wife.
Thank you, Fago. We got to run.
10 seconds. Joseph Newman's wife is from Bomi County. And you know he won in Bapolu. So Bapolu, Bomi, and Cape Man is already gone. These elections are over. What we want to discuss now is what Joseph Newman Parker will do in his first 90 days.
Thank you. Thank you, Fagon. Thank you. Let me bring in Al Hassan. Al Hassan is troubling. Seeing Mr. Cummings, he said the right thing like Fagon said, but he's drained. I don't think his VSB added anything to his upliftment when you talk about the political engagement in the country. This is concerning. Mr. Cummings is now fighting Teron Gonglo. Mr. Cummings is now fighting Clarence Mulba for the third or fourth position. Very surprising that Mr. Cummings can be fighting distant fourth right now. So this is a two-person race. Talk to me, my brother Al Hassan.
That's some of the reason why some of us not supporting Mr. Cummings at this time. The person that I feel really sad for is Charlene Bruskin. This young lady, through her political career, way over Cummings' failed aspiration, and she's gonna look back at this for probably a couple of years from now and say, yes, I made a wrong decision. Honestly, Charlie was never his first, second, or third choice. She was just a Hail Mary pass because they had no other option. After Kuhn was off the market, this fixer needed tools in his shop to carry on whatever thing they want to do or the thing in their mind they could do for Liberia. And they just have to be in the race. They are just seat filler. They just, in the race. But honestly, Cummings, I feel sorry for the ANC folks. One of the things I must give them credit is that they have courage. They have that determination. It's just that somehow they cannot relate to the Liberian people. And knowing the ANC and knowing the mindset, it is understandable why they are completely disconnected from the Liberian people. So when I listen to Cummings today, look at the man's face. The man looked dreary, he looked tired, he looked exhausted. And one of the things that comes to mind, and why the guys keep asking, how is he getting his money? We know that he's a millionaire. He keep raising money. People need to start questioning Cummings too, because here is a man that has deep connection with some of the real corporate giant of the world, and some of those companies have shady deals, and we need to delve into his background too and see how is he generating revenue for financing for his campaign. Why people will be asking the man that is running typically a grassroots movement. We look at the boycott campaign. Everybody in Liberia know now that Omen boycott is broke. If to say being broke is a bad thing, we have not seen it before. That a man that have stayed so long in government will be this time in the same place. Look, where is he hiding the money? We saw the other guy that built a mausoleum for his mom. We saw people building whole mini city. We saw people doing something. Jojo Boyka now rich. His children are living a modest life. Like I said, it's not typical of Liberian people that have money. Edwin Snow and all the guys, they will see what they are doing. So the only thing that makes sense is this man is not corrupt. And it is hard to understand for people to believe. If you don't believe it, then show me your proof. Don't they like,
Thank you.
Corrupt, So
you make some very
in this point of Cummings. I think the Liberian people should be more afraid of a Cummings administration and who is willing to sell this country to for his aspiration.
Who are you willing to sell the country to?
Yeah. I mean, Omer Bwaka is a nationalist. This man stay home. He has little connection to most of those people that have the means and capability of purchasing Liberia. If the person that can sell that country, that will be Cummings. He has the means. He has the
But
connection.
you're saying that Comey is drained. Yeah, you say we were talking about whether he would sell Liberia or not, but whether he would have the chance to sell Liberia, that's the question. Because listen, listen, George Manuel, we are trying to sell Liberia to Blue Carbon for $50 billion. It didn't work. You know, George Manuel, we are trying to sell. Yeah, try to sell Liberia to the Chinese. The Chinese, it didn't work. And you know, and George Manuel, we are selling Liberia again on this bogus African Development Bank issue that they will build a road under this lame dog section. It's not helping. But to go to Mr. Cummings, he's drained. What is Charlene Brunskin? She's not helping him. Kamala Harris came and she elevated Joseph Biden, Joe Biden. Joe Howard Taylor elevated George Manuel. You guys know the story. What's going on?
Charlene doesn't have a base.
Charlene destroying Mr. Cummings. Charlene draining Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings' wife is tired. And I think they're having a calculated plan now to just either think about 2029 or just, you know, Mr. Cummings will fight for the fourth position because it is why it is. Let me bring in Dr. Richardson. I will go back to the Gonglo guys for a bit because Cummings is running neck to neck with them for that fourth position or third. I think Mr. Gonglo is in the third place. We can open the phone line and ask folks. Clarence Mobile, if not Clarence Mobile. But Dr. Richardson, man, we are seeing a drain Cummings. We are seeing a frustrated Cummings. We are seeing a Cummings that finding an exera that he cannot understand why Charlene is not helping him. I know you will speak on the contrary, but talk to us. Make your case for your stand bearer.
Yeah, you're right. I will speak on the contrary. I don't see what you're seeing. I see someone who's making his case to the Liberian people. I see someone who said that he knew all along that Joseph Boakai, Yuri, all of them colluded to lie on him. And so he is ready for the Liberian people to move on. I believe in democracy. I don't think that it's over until it is over, until October 10th, when when Liberians got a chance to vote, then we'll know who won. At this point, I cannot say Joseph Boakai has won the election or election is a two-person race. I would not say that at all. And to find a guy who is worried about the ANC people, I don't understand. What are you worried about? One of the good things that you should be happy that many of the ANC persons, they're pretty much independent people. They're stable. They can live anywhere. They're adaptable. Compared to many of the people who I see hanging around JMP, I think you should be worried about that. I think many of these people, they're similar to JMP, who have lived in Liberia for many, many years and are unable to adapt to other cultures, other countries, or other systems. And so they are there to get a job or you know, they only can live in Liberia. One of the things that I also would like to say as well is that I always say this. One of my biggest criticism about JMP is that he is unable to adapt to other systems. I don't care who can tell me that he's tough, he's strong. I don't believe that at all. On the other hand, I'm happy for someone like Mr. Cummings, who's willing to say, I'm willing to move on, who's willing to say that I'm making my case to Liberian people, and at the end of the day, Liberian people will decide, as opposed to say, this is my time.
Thank you very much. Our Honorable Dr. Francine Chinua Richardson, thank you. I'm surprised that you're not making mention of the Fixer 2. Is she helping Mr. Cummings or is she destroying Mr. Cummings? Charlene Brunsky. You are muted, Dr. Richardson.
I'm not sure how to respond to that, whether she's helping Mr. Cummings or not. I think she's an asset. She's a very smart woman. She one of the few women in Liberia that owns a law firm. And I think that their personality complements each other. I guess if you ask me about Kuhn, who has a history of being a leader in the country, whether he's helping Joseph Boakai, that that'd be an interesting question to answer. But I think Charlene is doing the best that she can. I think their personality work well with each other so that she can, balance it out for him.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Thank you very much for that answer. Let me bring in the man that I hate to bring when I'm speaking on this show, and that person is Gibson. But we have to bring in Gibson, though. Mr. Jeru. You're muted, Jeru.
I know you like me on the show, but I can be annoying sometimes, but I'm good. Look, Dr. Francine, you're just supposed to tell these guys that Comey is a better manager than Joseph Boakai, except I argue for Gonglo all the time. Again, I want to dispel the notion that it was Joseph Boakai who wanted the hospital to go to Nema County. We all that are in the media, one of the reasons why Boakai is angry with Ellen today is because Ellen refused to put that hospital in Lofa County, not Joseph Boakai. Not Joseph Boakai that sent that hospital to Nema. We know, we all in the media, we know. We knew that information a long time. So I don't know where you come from with your information, but it's not true. But let me speak to the Cummings thing. Cummings have been taking a lot of risk. I always say he swim with the biggest and dangerous sharks. I've been saying it from day one since he entered CPP. He's been taking a lot of dangerous and risky, attempts by being with these people. But he saw that some of these sharks scathingly bit him, and he carrying the scars today. So I'm glad that he did not dwell on the Henry Costa thing, and he said he's moving on. And I think that's the best move for him to move on. And I don't want to say much about this because the Costa thing is still a debate, and it does not benefit Cummings. It does not benefit Boakai. It does not benefit Gonglo. I think this Costa thing benefit George Weah. And I think I will stop at that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gibson. Damn, you are just within your time frame. I think I'll bring it in more often. Thank you. Let me go to Johnny. Then Abula will take us home on this one. Johnny, your take, man.
Okay, so thank you. I mean, I just want to start.
I haven't spoken about the Cummings thing,
because you wasn't on, but I will bring you in, Mama. After Abula, I will bring you in, please.
Even my face not showing.
I know you were in the bag to eat. That's
I saw you too.
That's okay. Mo, we always talk. Go ahead, Johnny.
Yo, I got to talk about that.
So let me John Gibson to just continue from that point. I think Mr. Cummings,
Johnny got nothing to say. Let's get him 10 seconds. Go ahead.
Listen. One thing I've always said here, right? That everyone that has raised their hand to contest for the presidency, we should treat them with dignity and respect. Because any one of them will become our president, and we have to work with them and have to see them as our leader. So if Mr. Cummings, I mean, in the response, of course, he looked like somebody who is working very hard. You see a face and things. But I'm saying to you people, all of you here, I did not come on this show to discuss about what people are doing, what they're not doing. I want to tell you that you can now see why Liberians of this generation should be looking toward the current scale Monimba. With all the noise you're hearing in the CPP, UP, Coastal relationship, clearly shows lack of leadership. And this generation does not want to fall into any problem anymore. And it is so good that we have that the current scale Monimba that have been trained, educated with the character, with everything that you need to lead a society of such. You understand that? So I'm saying to everybody here in this room, gentlemen, ladies, my sisters, brothers here, let us focus our attention on how we can work with the current scale Monimba to provide leadership for this country, for this generation. So my brother Gibson, you are one of the good guys we need at Lino. Ambulai, Fadiga, my picking from Lofa County. You're come.
When I carry Lofa.
My man, you're come. My man, you're come. But you got family in Lofa, Fadiga family too. You're come to that Monimba.
Tradition will age in that thing. Just a tradition. It will
go but let's move on. Thank you, Johnny. Johnny, thank you very much. Thank you.
That you eat business as scared of as well.
Thank you very much. Let's just move on, guys. Let's move on to Abula. I'm surprised, Abula. I don't think anybody going to join the Clarence Moriba party because it's discouraging, right? The woman, when she served as superintendent, she built 4 homes, large building in Ghana. It's not for me to prove. It's for you to disprove. It's for you to disprove. It's not for me to prove. The woman took her money, but hey, Finny, you want to say something? I will wait.
Yeah, but we're discussing comedy bringing Crown Billion. I will tell you, no, you can't prove that.
So, but then you finish now. You finish?
If you are joking with it, please say you're joking. But if it's serious, don't take it more than that. Because you can be making false story on our vast Senate brother has made so much, have done so much to keep ourselves upright in the society. You understand? So please, if you have information on this woman you think is true, bring it to the fore. Let's discuss it. If you know it's not true, you're joking, say, man, I'm joking, but don't bring the kind of issues up. It's not fair to the disco.
So you finish?
To bring her on the show to defend what to explain to you, fine, but don't bring fake stories up and say, oh, because you feel threatened by this record.
No, you have properties.
I beg you, hold on, Mepa, hold on. Mepa, don't interrupt me. Johnny, I've given you enough time. Please do not interrupt me now, okay?
Okay,
when we come back to you, you can be able to speak and defend her. But I will say this. Johnny cannot disprove what I said. Gibson, you were on the show when we started. We asked Johnny, he said, well, the woman children live in Ghana, they got property. I said, no, I am not talking about children, right, Gibson? I'm talking about Grace Kwan. Grace Kwan owns property in Ghana. Probably Johnny, he doesn't know because he just coming around Grace Kwan. I know Grace Kwan owns property in Ghana. So I'm not going to stay here to prove anything. I want the Clarence Moriba team to say, Stanton, you lie. And we're going on. I beg you, Johnny, please now. Please, my brother. And then we will go ahead and prove them wrong. Then we'll cut the cola in the middle and let our people will decide. Grace Kwan. Great Mama Johnny, don't interrupt me now, but I beg you back. Grace Kwan owns property in Ghana. So, Mame, sorry to just swerve you off. Let's go back on the comments issue. Talk to us.
Yeah, Mr. Kumi was right when he said he's not paying more attention to the coastal situation. He want to focus on the campaign. I think he has the heaviest weight to lift up. He pick a running mate that he has to be towing with him. Unlike other people who pick running mates who are adding vote value.
I mean, you muted without hearing you. And then Johnny muted you.
Yeah, somebody muted me in the studio, right?
Johnny did that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying, Kumi has the heaviest weight to tow. He's campaigning with a group of people he doesn't have organic relationship with. Most of the relationship he built with the voters, they are transactionary. Even within his parties, relationship he has there, they're not organic, just transactionary relationship. He picks a vice president who brings a lot of education, professional
transactionary relationship.
Yeah, bring a vice president who has wealth of experience and education, but sadly outside of Liberia. I don't even know whether she went to high school in Liberia. Because in high school and colleges, we build relationship and keep growing up. But you can't just... So he has a whole lot to carry. So I think he needs to, he was right when he said he will focus on that. He has a whole lot to carry. He picking his vice president, putting it on the shoulder and running with her, while other vice presidents are bringing votes, bringing their capacity and their strength. The downside for him is he has a vice president who brings the capacity. She doesn't bring vote. He commits himself, his relationship with the voters, transactionary, not organic.
Mr. Moderator, can I say something?
What is the transactionary? What is a transactionary relationship? I got a question for Mambe. What is a transactionary?
I beg you, Gabe. Saying Dr. Richard saying he said, yeah, your political leader is a transactionary political leader. I know you want to ask question. Dama, can you pull up what I sent you, please? Dr. Richardson, go ahead. Say something real quick. We're bringing more Ali and Mepe Gondo.
When I hear Mohammed speak, he speaks as if Liberia is a monolithic place. It's where everybody thinks the same way, they look the same way, or they act the same way. That's the only way one with sense can draw a conclusion that Cummings is having transactional relationship. You don't know the entire population of Liberia and who he interacts with. You don't know what Charlie brings to the table. And for you to make a generalized statement and say, oh, just because somebody didn't graduate from high school in Liberia, that means that they don't have friends in Liberia. I did not graduate from high school in Liberia, but I have lots of long-term friends that I went to kindergarten with that I maintain contact with. As a matter of fact, this weekend, all of them will be in my home. So, I mean, when we make these generalized statements, we need to be very careful. Transactional relationship, what is that?
Yeah, I can tell you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead. Thank you very much. 10-second clarify, answer her question, and we'll move to the UP folks.
Transactional relationship are just relationship where you just acting on payback. There's nothing more than today and tomorrow, nothing for the future. Most of the people you see with Gonglo today, they believe in him from the day you were in high school and college. And they feel that he can continue for the next 20, 30 years living the same way. So transactional relationship, today, tomorrow, it ends. No commitment, no trust.
Nande. And this is what we say, just to add to what you
have. You're just talking. Again, this is my trouble when people just speak without evidence. You don't know Mr. Cummings. Have you ever interacted with him? Do you know the kind of relationship he has with people?
No, Meme don't answer. Let that finish.
With Gonglo. If you want to say Gonglo has relationship with his classmates, that's fine. But you don't know Mr. Cummings. You don't know who he interacts with. You don't know the kind of relationship that he has for you to make these generalized statements.
I think these are some of the transactional relationship, Mame. You want to read this? I think these are some of the relationship you are talking about. Yesterday they had a meeting, the ANC folks, and they suspended some of their folks. We read the letter yesterday. Yeah, this was the yesterday letter when they suspended Madam Kula Kiazuru, James, they suspended James, and they suspended Ezekiel Giddens, right? Today, yesterday they suspended them though, removed them from the position, pending investigation. Today, guess what happened? Read what you see there. Mr. Jacob, my own guy is the name, Mr. Jacob Monyu, Madam Jeanette Nima, and for vice chair, they got JJ and Nat, vice chair for operation. They immediately replaced them. We're going to Mempe Kou Gono and Mo Ali. So when my brother Abula said transactional relationship, these are the things, pending investigation, they brought in new folks. But why they suspended the first three guys and why they replaced them, we got the story. The letter was dated today, the 12th of July, 2023, with immediate effect. Who carried on this operation? We know. That the chat room was going crazy today. So this is evidenced by the term you use, Mame. Let's let this story to rest. That's exactly why you see Mr. Cummings so drained. Mr. Cummings is having a serious issue, and the issue cannot be solved by Charlene Bronskin. Charlene Bronskin was never CPP. By extension of Liberty Party, she was on both sides of the aisle, Yombly and Musa Belete. Charlene Bronskin was paid very well to leave her job, her office. They took care of her bills, everything. We said it on this show. Musa Belete almost threatened again, saying, if you cannot support Mr. Cummings right now, we will not be friends. And she had to agree under duress. She had to agree under the pressure. That's why nobody is adding value to Charlene Bronskin being a VSB. Let me go to Mepe, then Mo Ali will take us on. I just wanted to make this clear. Sister Gono, go ahead.
Yes, I beg to differ with the trajectory of this conversation because to blame on the political fatigue and the feeling of the ANC on Councillor Charlene Bronskin, I don't know if it's entirely fair. And if she decided to become a VSP, I don't think it was also under duress. I think it's something she wanted, she calculated, she took. I even heard she said it was prophesied that she would become vice president too. So, but I want you to know that, yes, it is not unusual during the political times for him to sound or look drained because the ANC is grasping for air. I do believe when these elections are held, Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo is going to kick him to the fourth place. Because I'll just look at the geographic politics, I look at the organic relationships like Mame talked about. You know, there are people who genuinely believe in Councillor Gonglo. It's just unfortunate that at this time, you know, he hasn't galvanized that many persons. Ambassador Boyka has been in the race many years in public service, and he's the preferred choice of the people now. But you got to look at several things with the ANC. You can't just say it's Charlene. The ANC has inherited baggages from all over. I talked to you about the UP that the people feared. That UP, those elements are not in the ANC. You got people who ran away after they've caused problem. They come there, then you say, oh, they are good people. You got the likes of Louis Brown there. You name it. You know, all of those guys, they were there today. Whom does Robert Salif support? That name inspires fear. When the Liberian people yell Robert Salif, then who side they on? Matter of fact, there are unconfirmed reports that are 70,000 you heard that got missing were brought in by Robert Salif. So when these elements are all not supporting Mr. Cummings, then when you see there is not voter connect, those things will make you worry. He's right not to focus on, you know, Brother Costa conference. That's not his worry. His worry is how the voters are creating any momentum for me. You listen to statistics. You listen to polls. 100 people interview. Who will you vote for? You got about 70% or 85% saying we'll vote for Joseph Yima Boyka. The rest going to CDC. Then you get a 2 city for ANC. That's not one will current city for Conglo. So why would Mr. Cummings, you know, not be drained? He's someone who talk about the age of Ambassador Joseph Yima Boyka. He's looking at himself 6 years added to my age or another 12 years again. How do we move on? Yes, his vice burial, Madam Charlene Bromsky, is, you know, she's not, you know, strong in the grassroots. But she herself, she's educated, she's trying her best. But he himself, the liability is not just her. Unlike us who have a vice burial who is a 3-time elected official from the most populous, you know, second most populous county, who galvanize people, who's very humble, who get across, who is a grassrooter. I can understand his frustration, but we shouldn't just pour all on Charlene. He himself has been around the political atmosphere in Liberia for some time. The terrain, I think he needs to galvanize more himself, or he can just come and consolidate with us. And let's take care of this country, take care for Ambassador Weah, and history will be kind to him for this decision. Not everybody will be president. Some people will be the Moses that will lead people to the promised land. And you are even more remembered than those who enter the promised land. It's not late for him. You know, this is about country. And I know he will come, whether now the second round. We're encouraging him to come. You see, but I just want to say one last thing before you take leave of me on this subject matter, if there's no other. I listened to Dr. Richardson not too long ago. This is some of the reason that the ANC is having hard time to connect with voters. She sat on this platform and said, the ANC supporters are well to do. They're in America. They get good jobs. They have working other systems. Job worker and the people around here can only survive in Liberia. That why those people in Liberia don't care about y'all who survive in other systems and run to those other systems. They care about identity politics. People who know them, who understand their struggle. That's why.
Fagon, why are you laughing?
Yeah.
You got trouble, Fagon. Why are you laughing?
That's why some of them, you see, they fought the way they fought, because people fought with people they are comfortable with, who they think understand their problems, who they think relate to them, who they think connects with them at a certain level. So if Kumi and his elite and upper party people, I don't think Mr. Cummings even like what you say about him, because I think somewhere there he's trying to connect with the ordinary people. What we are saying here.
Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Cole. We gotta move. We gotta move.
Yeah, let me just learn 5 seconds.
Real quick, yeah.
It's a grassroots.
Why are you bringing Paper Tower? We don't need Paper Tower on this show.
From Foya Lofa County, he went up through the ranks and files. He understands the struggle of our
people. You, Cole.
He lived there. They can relate to him. So
that's why you come to class on time, Cole. You're late for class today. Thank you. Can we bring it? Dr. Richardson must respond to you.
Yeah,
then we'll go to Mo Ali.
Again, when you are emotional about your leader, it's okay. But don't distort what I said. I said Mr. Cummings supporters have people who are independent thinkers. They're not worried about stealing or being government or wanting a government job. That's exactly what I
That's
said.
not what you said. We can replay it.
Kowu, you gotta wait now. Kowu, you gotta wait.
I never
Kowu,
said
you gotta wait. You cannot interrupt her, please.
Mr. Cummings voters are elitist. I never said that Mr. Cummings voters cannot supporters cannot connect to the people. I never said that. I would be a fool to say such a thing. I don't think you heard me well. I said one of the beauty about Mr. Cummings, unlike Joseph Buckeye, is that Mr. Cummings has lived in two systems. He has not been in Liberia for 42 years or 12 years. And in this world, in this modern world, you need to have that kind of flexibility. And I believe that many of Mr. Cummings supporters have that kind of flexibility. That's very different from saying elitist. That's very different from saying he's not a grassroots politician. And you put in words in my mouth that does not belong there. You need to listen.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richard. No, Kowu, you cannot interrupt. Kowu, you gotta wait. Kowu, wait. Kowu, wait. Kowu, wait. But you gotta wait. Kowu, you gotta wait. Kowu, listen.
I need 30 seconds. I need 30 seconds.
We don't want to do that. I'm not saying I'm not going back to you, but I said wait.
I need 30 seconds. I need 30 seconds.
Gibson, then when you will never get between the two women, you gotta wait. I beg you, Cole, we'll come back to you. Let's move to Mo Ali and just slow things down small. It will be fair. I beg you, Cole, please. Please. If I'm gonna stop bringing paper towel on the show, nobody crying here if I go. Please.
Mo, you didn't hear the woman say you who support Poeka, you ain't got no other option.
Mo, can you come in? Mo, can you come in?
I did not say that.
You know,
it's so sad that
I will start off by what was saying.
Hold on, Cole. I beg you. We gotta have some order. Let Mo come.
There is one reason why Mr. Cummings will be a spectator in the election, and it is because.
Wait. You said the man will be a spectator?
Spectator. He will just stay and watch the process.
You will not be a participant?
He's not a contender. He's not a serious contender.
Go ahead,
It is
Mo.
because the people who come to the radio and the television stations to speak for Mr. Cummings, the level of arrogance they portray on these stations, they do not speak to the heart, mind, and soul of the people who are supposed to vote. When you come on the station and say, you say Baga people that are poor people, they not get nothing, they will not do nothing for you. Of course, the people, we are poor people. We not get money. The people see themselves in us. The people see a replica of themselves. The reason why people don't follow Mr. Cummings is because they don't see a resemblance of themselves in Mr. Cummings and the people who are around him. That's why y'all will not get anything. Y'all will not get no vote. Y'all can't speak American. Nobody understands American series anywhere in Liberia. Y'all can't say y'all get money, y'all get Google job. If y'all get money, y'all get BB job, y'all forget about our small Liberia. Let's do our politics.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Running America.
What are you doing in America?
Now,
Dr. Richardson, I will give you time. I will give you time to respond. Dr. Richardson, I will give you. Hold on. Kowu, stop. Dr. Richardson, I will give you time to respond to Mo. Dr. Richardson, I will give you time to respond to Mo. I beg you. Go ahead, Mo.
Yeah, we poor people that are talking to our fellow poor people to vote for us because we understand poverty and we understand how we will take ourselves from that poverty. So, y'all be there with spectator Cummings. Y'all will remain spectators in this process. Y'all going nowhere. Ambassador Barker issued a statement today, a very strong statement of some of the stance he will take against corruption. And I was very impressed. But the reason I'm bringing this statement out is because I saw my brother Amula Mambe comment on it. He commended the statement and said, but Councillor Gonglo will go further to the Ellen administration. And when I read your comment, I'm like, I thought you missed something. Because in the statement, Ambassador Barker said, and all existing audit documents will be used to go after corrupt people using the law. We know that when John Molu and other auditors were heading the GAC, they audited the Salif. During the Salif tenure, that was the time we heard about auditing. Almost every sector was audited. Those reports are there. They are not dead. So when Ambassador Baka said we will go to those audit reports, it includes reports from the Salif administration. And this is one thing that Ambassador Baka will not shy away from. We will audit everybody. When you're hearing a cookies jar, you will go to court. Let the court decide whether you are free or you are not free. So thank you for commending that statement, and your concerns were noted, and the statement addressed your concerns. These are the characters the Liberian people are looking for in a leader, and they have one in Ambassador Bwaka. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to announce that we'll be having John Molu the second on the show next week. John Molu was appointed to serve as consultant to the JMB campaign team. We will be having him on the show next week. I spoke to him, and he will be joining Spoon Talk. Dr. Richardson, I will give you the time to respond to Mo, if you have any respond there.
Well, the only thing I can say is, Mo is in the United States. Why are you here? Why are you here, Mo? So when you come here and criticize, Liberia is just not a place that only for poor people, rich people, or people from that live in the United States. Liberia has a diverse body of people. So when you guys come here and present Liberia as this monolithic culture, it just surprises me. And it really surprises me. Liberia has many, many cultures, many, many people that like different things.
You want
to downplay the diaspora.
No, we do respond. Their response privilege is.
You will, but let's give Dr. Richardson the time to finish speaking.
You want to say that people in the diaspora they only support Mr. Cummings, they present elitist attitude? That is wrong. That propaganda is wrong. You guys cause a lot of divisiveness among Liberians.
Now you're the one saying it, not me. Now you the one saying we pulled.
Mo, hold on 1 minute. Mo, hold on 1 minute. I beg you.
You know what started the chapter where Mr. Cummings don't let poor people? Did I say that? No, you put words in my mouth. I never said that.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson.
Mr. Cummings supporters tend to be independent thinkers. I said Mr. Cummings supporters tend to live.
Can we respond, Mr.
When I call your name, we're gonna give Dr. Richardson all the time to respond tonight.
His supporter being elitist. This is how you guys twist things around, and it upsets me.
The good thing is Dr. Richardson.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Cole, please. Everybody will have the time to speak, but we shouldn't interrupt. I beg. This is our last round. As you do your closing, please remember we will be having the late night on Spoon, late night politics. You can go eat and come back after the show. We will take a 1 hour break and come back and just speak to our fellow Liberians. They are up. Liberian people don't sleep early. We want to open the phone line. Let it tell us what's on their mind. So we'll be coming back with late night politics on Spoon. Open the phone line when they're quiet and just tell us what's on your mind. If you can join us, join us. If you can't join us, that's fine. But I will be talking about every political party leaders. And I want to ask the Liberian people, what's on their mind tonight? We'll just open the phone line and flow. So join us tonight for the late night politics. Late night politics on Spoon. Correct? And I also want to say thank you very much, guys. A wonderful conversation. We'll do our closing. We'll keep the phone line for the late night politics because it is important. We didn't discuss everything plus more, but I think that we came up with a big chunk of the conversation tonight. Let's do our closing. We'll start with our brother, Gibson Jeru. You have 2 minutes, brother Gibson. You're muted, brother Gibson.
Johnny said he wants to go.
Actually, no, I'm not going anywhere. I like to hear everybody talking. That's something I like to Look, first of all, we are glad that Senator, I'd like us to extend an invitation to the vice presidential candidate of Councilor Gonglu. He's ready to come on.
Please bring him on. Bring him on. Bring him on.
Okay.
And on which day? You set it up.
Thank you very
We
much.
gave him. Apart from the joke, we gave him our respect. Bring it on. And on which day? Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we want to assure everyone, like we said in the past, Councilor Gonglu will have to distinguish himself from the rest of the people as being the rule of law person, a person who believes that corruption, he has fought against corruption. He has taken action against corruption in the past. So that's what matters. Everybody say, I'm not corrupt. Okay, fine. But have you taken action to fight corruption? The only person who has done that is Councilor Gonglu, and we will maintain that. So I want to urge everyone in it, when the runner-up is on, the opposition will support anyone who is in the opposition that goes against George Weah. So that's a full bloom. But while we are here, everybody is looking for a place to stand. We want to make sure that Councilor Gonglu finishes to the second round. And that is our objective. But I want to say thank you for all of you. I don't have much to say at this point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much again, folks. Please do not forget, it will be firing tonight. I'm bringing Eugene Fagon back when he eats something and rests a little bit. 1 hour, we'll be talking the Liberian Param, the Liberian way. We will open the phone line. We'll talk about President George Weah. We'll talk about Cummings. We'll talk about Jose Yimabwaka. We'll gossip. We'll talk everything plus more. It will be interesting. Come and join us. Again, let's go to Johnny, my friend Johnny Debbie from Lenon.
So thank you, Stanton. And let me just start by saying thanks for this program. I mean, every time I appear on this show, I go by and do evaluation and realize that we are making progress as Lino. Actually, our message is resonating both home and away. So I want to appreciate all of you. But let me just say that Liberians, this generation of yours, you need to have Dr. Clarence K. Moniba as your leader. Every generation has its own leadership in every profession, whether in the medical field, in the journalism field, every career you have your own leadership when it comes to generation. But let me say this, I asked a question with no disrespect to VP Boakai. I asked Mo, why did the old man leave Monrovia to go to Ghana? And I keep saying that's a key question that must be answered because it is bordered around leadership. You cannot be invited for an event, you don't know the content of the event. So please, that's not correct. Make sure I know that you're going for a visit, and that visit was about X and Y thing. And the other thing is that Grace Klan does not own any property in Ghana. Let me clear that off from Stanton's head. It is not, Grace Klan does not own any property in Ghana. But we'll look up to what you got to present, but I'm telling you the fight. And the other thing is that
it is not her property, or she does not own any property. What are you saying?
Ghana. I'm saying she does not own any property in Ghana. The next thing is, I like the way you are just discussing crowd politics, but be careful before we have a crisis in the country that will say Fagon said it. You're saying, oh, you saw the crowd in Magibi, you saw the crowd here. Election is over. Fagon, I'm sure you are a media person, and you know what it means when it comes to election reporting. So let's be mindful. We are all up to see the election to be peaceful. So let's be careful as to what we say to the public, so we do not create excitement people that will result to violence that we don't have control over. So let me say again, thank you, gentlemen and ladies, my sister, Kwawu and Dr. Racing. Please join me. Please join Lionel. Come to Dr. Moniba. This is where you belong. You have your vision. You, my brother, I used to see you working on UL campus as a young, smart man, and I used to enjoy you guys in your super activities. And I think you guys will all find yourself around.
Bring the $10 million more Ali with John Clarence. Bring the $10 million more Ali with John Clarence.
All the vision you guys had for Liberia, you can find the vision in Dr. Clarence K. Moniba. I'm sure Ambula and Fagon himself knows that very well. And my own man, Gibson Cheru. So ladies and gentlemen, please join Lionel. We are open. This party is on the philosophy of center-right democratic policy. That's what we are. So thank you and good night, everybody. I will follow your show.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Yeah, Johnny, you got to go home. Thank you very much, my brother. It's good to have you. The Gonglo guy spoke. Let me bring in our sister Kobu. Then we'll come to Abula, Mo Ali. Then Honorable Fagon will take us home after Dr. Richardson. Cole, you want to go?
Yeah, Chief, I don't know if you get Jeruma number. I ain't got a call yet. Try and get.
But you can get number. You can get a number to the man. Hey, don't put me in your.
The private chat room now opening up. But anyway,
all right, let me call your number. The woman number is 678-330. You said I'm gonna get a number. You said stop it again.
No, give it to him privately.
Anybody call that number, you went straight to the police station.
You're going, Joe, we will arrest you. Go ahead, call that number.
Jokes. Well, let me tell you something.
I already have your number.
Thank you. I'm waiting for the call because the Conglo people are my family people. You know, sometimes they get heated here, but they are close to my heart. I tell you, they are good people, and we will work together in the second round. Or if they do not go into this,
get to you in Liberia. Get them when you come back to America.
Listen. If all these people do not go to the elections, we'll all be working together very soon. Those are my people. But I'll tell you on a serious note, I don't know what Johnny talking about when he talk about your generational change. Look at our vice presidential candidate, or me in our generation, or grassroots, who came from selling gas, riding back, and enter into government worth over $5 million at his entry point into government. And today, this man has been elected 3 times. He has risen through the ranks and file. He is from our generation. And Joseph Yuma Boyka is the means through which our generation will take power, because he's going to stabilize things. He's going to change this country around and give young people the opportunity. And I'm telling you, when we going back to the ANC thing, Dr. Richardson, you're a sister. I enjoy you on this show. But sometimes it's possible when we're speaking, we don't catch ourselves. I want you to take time and listen to the show again. The picture printed, like I said, the ANC themselves wouldn't like the picture, but they can listen to the show. They're live if some of them are out there. And you are not the only person. I've gotten it from a lot of the folks who support Cummins. Oh, these people were well off, well to do. This is a party that carry your credit score up. This is a party that does political image laundering. When you did something during the 12 years or early regime, when you join Mr. Cummins, then you are a good guy. Louis Brown, Musa Perete, all you're good people because you support Mr. Cummins. It doesn't work like that. Our voters are gravitated to Honorable Joseph Yuma Boyka because they may stellar record in public service, because they may identifies and connects with them at a grassroots level, and economically as well. People like people who are like them. He's always been to the same place. Yes, he's not rich. They know it. That's why we are about to do our dollar rally. Our people will bring their $5 liberty, their $10 liberty, their $20 liberty, and we will work together for people who understand us, who know us, and who are willing to move our country forward. I want to encourage all of you. I'm sorry Johnny is gone. But all these small parties here, we're moving more to a 2-party system, like many other countries. They got plenty of parties in Nigeria. You always talk about the 2 parties that are there, Ghana, Sierra Leone, thing. These elections are a 2-horse race, especially with the Unity Party being ahead. Let us bring our efforts together. I'm not worried about Councillor Joseph and Tewansi Conclo because he's a great statesman who is going to join us. A man from my background, have impeccable respect for, not because sometimes on this place we throw jokes and we talk, but the Gonglo people, and he has a good future ahead of him. I want to see him lead our justice efforts in our country and make sure that promise that Honorable Joseph Yuma Boyka made, to punish these crimes of corruption. I want to see him lead that effort because he's a fair and a good person, good at that. We need to join our efforts and support the Boyka campaign, the Boyka Kun campaign, put our personal interests. The revolution is bigger than all of our personal interests because at the end of the day, the children of Liberia depend on us. The people of Liberia depend on us. And we need to come together. You cannot say you despise this government, but there's too much opposition fight. We need to come together. And in the end, I know we will. So, thank you for a good show. I will try to listen to the late night. And as always, I want us to continue to love.
Don't just jump in when you hear something, though. No, because you won't be listening, then you'll see yes and you'll jump in. No.
We want to
Just listen
continue
to
to
the
love Liberia, think Liberia, and build Liberia. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, Sister Cole. It's good to have you all the time. Honorable Abula Mame.
I think the Unity Party colleagues want to push this, entire thing about the trip under the carpet. It's not fair to do it. For themselves, it's not a good thing. I think they should address specific issues. America is concerned about those individuals who have interests in the leadership of Liberia to the extent that they are willing to pay 30 million. America is interested to know them, to know their political interest, to know their geopolitical alliance. Because of that, everybody associated with that deal is currently under surveillance. That's one point I wanted to stress. Tada Francine asked Mo Ali, what are you doing in America? Mo Ali is in America on a transactional operation. He will go back to Liberia to his organic operation. So I just wanted to just put that through. The same way people can leave from America and go to Liberia on transactional operation.
Lead a transactional thing where your friend, man.
I mean, don't call me Ogba.
Where is that transactional from?
Where did transactional come from the other?
Pagu, you strong, boy, you strong. Go ahead, you protect that, Pagu.
Yeah, don't call me up. So that is why Mo Ali is here. He's on transactional operation. He will go back to organic operation.
He said money in a hand, back in the ground.
Yeah. So I just wanted to stress that. But finally, on the most serious note, with the fight against corruption and Joseph Boakar's statement, we are all in the opposition. We said that corruption is the standing block between Liberia and prosperity. If Joseph Boakar came out and posted about his commitment to fight corruption, we welcome that. But we raise serious issue. Joseph Boakar mentioned George Weah administration in our statement more than 3 times. Now you have to spare Eleni, say Eleni administration too. So for us, we are clear. Our fight against corruption will begin as far back as 2005. And we already have a research team that is concluding on how we can make a legal argument against that particular clause on what they say statute of limitation. Councillor Lami Kwagwa and others have found justification to present to the Supreme Court on removing statute of limitation to go as far back as 2005 to investigate. We clear only. So you can't just stick on George Weah on 3 paragraphs and you say all the other reports. We have to be clear about the fight against corruption.
Thank you very much, my dear brother Mame. It's good to have you always. Mo?
Thank you, Mame. I'll clarify a few things first. And not something that people have banged on much. I want to get it from out of the back of our mind that we'll have a second round in these elections. We are winning on the first ballot. That's what we are aiming for. So they think about, we'll ask the other people to be or in second round, this and that. You got to join us now. When we win, we'll still bring you. Mame, let me tell you something. I respect Councillor Lamik Magoy a lot. He's been my friend from way back. The man did engineering or mining for a first degree. That's why people like Councillor Lamik Magoy then will be heading in a Joseph Boakai administration the fight against corruption. I'll be one of the first person in my own way to recommend Councillor Magoy. Those who are stern, I respect his integrity. I know him. Councillor Gonglo, we will call him every minute, well-meaning Liberian, people like you, will call you all to help in this fight against corruption. That's why you got to join the rescue train. What you're doing now is distraction. CDC there, we should focus on them. But ANC has gone to their chat room. They have discussed. They've had meetings. And they've come up with one goal, one objective in this election. We must attack Joseph Boakai. We must attack Unity Party. We will not attack George Weah. We will not attack the CDC. Reason for that is that they've realized that they will not win the election. They're going nowhere. They say they're playing their cards for 2029. We're not here for no 2029 again. We got to clear the first 6 years. Your way, go back to 2005. Elio Mawale even go back to as far as 1997 to start auditing. Let me close up on our visits to Nimba, to Bong, to Magibi. What we saw there, the crowd in Campley alone tells you that the first ballot is possible. And you know, Gibson Jeru talked about the hospital over there, but Joseph Baka wanted them to carry it to Lofa. Gibson Jeru and Joseph Baka were pushing for Lofa. Joseph Baka is now a Lofa-centric person. He would have asked Madame Salif to pave all the roads in Lofa. Joseph Baka believes in a deconcentrated system, a decentralized system, a system that will benefit the entire population. That is the reason why many of you, when you can say, what he did for Lofa, he's not a Lofa-centric person. Joseph Baka was the one who advocated for the Jasin Fiado Hospital to be built over there. Nobody else. It was Joseph Baka. And we have people from Nimba who have alluded to this. There are many things that Joseph Baka has advocated to be done in other counties that he didn't advocate for his own county, because he does not want to be a president of Lofa. Joseph Baka is running to be president of Liberia and not president of Lofa, and he will advocate and he will develop Liberia as a unit, not Lofa as Liberia. So clear that one from out of your mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dr. Richardson.
So, Mame, thank you for being the mouthpiece for Moali. I wish you could continue to do that.
My friend.
It is obvious. Please not interrupt me. You already did your closing. Except you have a question for me, I can answer it. Do you have a question for me?
I said Moali, my friend.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a question for me. You know, it is obvious that majority of you in this show are supporters of Mr. Boakai. So you would sing the same song, or either, you know, you will identify with his policies. You would think that Liberia is one way, but it is not. It is not about transactional relationship like you saying, and I don't even know if you know what transactional relationship means. Mr. Cummings was in Liberia in 2017. He got more votes than Benana Yura, who stayed in Liberia. So it is not about how long you be in Liberia or how you relate to Liberians. It is about your message that you carry out to the Liberian people. And Mr. Cummings is making his case. That's what he always says. He is making his case to the Liberian people. You guys wanted grassroots politician. You wanted someone that you can connect with. But who did you get? George Weah, right? Wasn't he a grassroots politician? What is he doing to our country that we all are very concerned about right now? That we have some kind of commonality. It is not about grassroots. It's what you can do for Liberia and what your experience, your knowledge, the skills that you have that will put Liberia on the right path, the right trajectory. And so when we come here and we just talk about one song, it's like I feel like I'm in a church and everybody's singing the same song. There's no objectivity. So, you know, I want to just leave by saying, Liberians, if you listen to me October 10th, you can choose to put Liberia on the right path. We are not looking for popularity. We're not looking for a grassroots politician. We are looking for someone who can work, who's going to stop wasteful spending, who's going to stop corruption, who's not going to say, I'm going to stop corruption, then I make my vice president somebody who in the Senate that took $30,000. That's corruption. We're looking for someone who has a plan for Liberia, who can fight and bring our economy to a place where Liberians can get paid regularly. And Mr. Cummings has the skills. He's done it before. He has not lived in one system. This is what I was talking about, and my words was misconstrued. I was talking about someone in this modern world, and if you can't connect with it, I will understand why. In this modern world, you cannot live in Liberia that is outdated, that don't even have, comparable to other places in the world. Even in the region, we know when we do a statistics of Liberia comes last. Morally, I know you're trying to jump in. It is. You got to come to the fact. Liberia has things that are outdated in our country that is not up to par. Look at our roads. Our roads are not up to par. Look at our schools. Our schools are not up to par. And that's what I consider to be outdated before you jump in, because I'm sure you agree with me. And this is why we need a leader who has modern ideas and can integrate that with some of the cultural practice of our country to make Liberia a better place. And that's what Mr. Cummings does. And that's what he is, as a matter of fact. Because he knows what inclusion means. He's been a culture. He's been a culture in this world where he was isolated. A Black person in this country can be discriminated. One of the things we learned is about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm not sure if anyone who's been in Liberia for 42 years knows that, or knows the importance of that. You can shake your head all you want, mommy, but that's the fact, I'm telling you. And so I will close on this, Liberians. We don't want, when we come on this channel, this show has, it has evolved in many different ways. It is not, what it used to be. Of course, we are at a place where it is a United Party show now. And so whatever I say will be strange, and whatever some of you guys are saying is not objective enough. And it's okay.
That's a grave accusation.
As long, I don't know what you're talking about, Moali. What is a grave accusation?
To say nobody in Liberia.
No, guys, we out of time. Let Dr. Richardson complete her closing.
You got listening. I don't think you listened to me. I said, Mr. Cummings, I did not say nobody in Liberia. I said, Mr. Cummings has been in a system where diversity, equity, and inclusion is important. Now you are turning my words around, twisting, and say, I said nobody in Liberia. It's horrible when you guys do this kind of things. Why would you do that? That's not what I said. Listen well. This is the second time my thoughts have been misconstrued. But I understand you guys want all of us to sing the same song. We're not singing the same song. And it's okay with me, because I believe in democratic process. That until October 10th, when Liberian people decide, the decisions will be made. So we'll come here and talk about, this person does not connect with the Liberians. How do you know? What evidence do you have to provide that? Yeah, we can play the politics. But it's not about politics, it's about the lives of Liberian people. It is about the lives of Liberian people. So on that note, I rest.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Thanks. Fagon, before you speak to take us home, Fagon, I'd just like to send a happy birthday to my cousin. I'm trying to upload a picture. Byron, can you please again upload this picture? Bernadette P. Bally from Virginia. I want to say happy birthday to you. Bernadette P. Bally, trying to upload the pictures. It's not coming up, but again, there you go. We say happy birthday to you. You received a lot of flowers today. We are celebrating with you. We want to say a wonderful woman. We share this time. We want to say happy birthday. May God bless you. May God keep you. I know I gave you a hard time, but I want to celebrate you today. A wonderful, wonderful lady. Happy birthday from the entire Spoon family. My wife, Laura, the children, and myself, we say happy birthday. Yeah? God bless you. Thank you very much, Byron. Fagon, please. You want to take us home, brother?
Well, yeah. The first thing I like to say is that, I don't like to do this, but I think the Liberian people are my witness, and I will do it again tomorrow for you, Gibson. This old man stood up today and explained exactly from start to finish how the Tapita Hospital came about. He called the Nima people to be his witnesses, and all of them agree. He called Neem as to the day it started, when it started, how it started, what they did. What sort of journalist are you? Or you just read your friend in newspaper? This is something that is on video. You can ask Tinton, ask him. And so tomorrow I will disturb the platform until they play it. For you to come sit down here and say, all journalists know in Liberia how they tap into our hospital. The men wanted to carry it to Lofa. It means you're not even watching news in the country. You are clueless as to what is happening in the country. Because if you follow the Tapita Jackson F. Doe Hospital, how it came about, how Edward Gay carried him to the old Ratting Hospital, and he said, oh, we got to do something about the hospital. So they did something about it. They called Les. Les said the hospital too big, will not be able to do community projects. They invited the Chinese and held meetings with the Chinese. The Chinese came in, and after everything had happened, he still went back to bring water, to bring the 2-mile rule. You are not a
Tapita and every day. It was my visit to Tapita when I went to that hospital in ruins. And me and Edwin Gay, he had one Tapita. And we said we will rebuild this hospital. But we knew it was a big hospital. I brought lace. They couldn't do it. That's how I talked to the Chinese. You add Edwin Gay will tell you I was instrumental in that hospital. And one day I visited there with all of the sophisticated equipment. I said, we need to pave at least 2 miles before here. That's how they put the cement there. That's how the water went there. This is Liberia. This is our country. If we don't make it better, we can't be going to other people's country, praising them for 176 years. This chopping business in this country will stop. It will stop. It will build this country. We will have good roads. We have good medical. You go to all the hospital now, nothing, no medication. But the money is in the pocket of the people. They're dividing it. That's not the formula for making a country prosperous. By giving.
Thank you, Stanton. And let me say to Gibson, every time you do this thing on this platform, I take 50 people from you. Gonglo was in our pool we had on the show. Gonglo can't tell. But since you started talking for Gonglo and your alliance with the other people, I'm afraid that Gonglo is going nowhere. Here is my closing today. There is a fact that nobody can change. Joseph Boakai is the front runner. George Weah is now in second place. If at all, you will focus and other people will focus on their campaign, George Weah will now be in third or fourth place. But every time you come on the platform, you look for a way to attack the front runner. But you forget to know that the man you people are running against is not Joseph Boakai. The man you guys are running to beat is George Weah. And now, if you think by attacking Joseph Boakai, you have given him more room. Let me say to my friend and sister, Dr. Francine, I hate to give you bad news, but I was one of the ones who said that the only way to the presidency for Kumis was through Joseph Boakai. Kumis is now seen as the man who got all his partisans in America. I know you don't let people to tell you the truth, but me, I always get in trouble for it. All Kumis partisans, they're in America. I said it before, I'll say it again. If y'all get on the plane and go, Kumis will either be second or third.
The 112 person that voted for him were in America, right? Last time.
If y'all stay here, Kumis will not even win that high school election in Bokonjire because the vast majority of his people are here. Is that not a fact? It is a fact. The last factor is you say their platform is not United Party platform. Yeah. I remember the great Hassan Fadiga, ANC CPP. I remember Isaac Fatuka, ANC CPP. I remember Remy Gray, ANC CPP. I remember Salimatu, ANC CPP. I remember Dr. Francine, ANC CPP. I hope you see how it feels like now when I was sitting with all of you guys and poor me from JMB when the 4 Hebrew boys were gone. I know now you know how it feels when you have to face almost 6 people and you alone. But you have to do it like I did it. You have to remain focused on your message. Don't get distracted. And like me, you will be on board the train and you will lead in the polls. I respectfully submit.
Can I have my
Let me say
tennis?
there's a wonderful show, very, very beautiful show. We will be winding down, cooling off, enjoying ourselves later on tonight. We will have 1 hour program. Just open the phone line and talk to Liberians. If you are up and you want to participate, say what you want to say. Just be respectful. We'll have a chat with you. We'll talk to you 9 p.m. 9 p.m. our time. That will be 1 p.m. Liberian time. It will be 1 a.m. Liberian time, 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. We'll have you for only 1 hour just to hear what you have to say today. What happened in your life? What you have to say. Join us. Also, I'd like to say to every one of you, a wonderful show. This is not one party program. We had Gibson Jerry, Abula Mame from the Gonglo camp, joining Debbie from Lenon. Okay, Clarence Mulbar. We have Mo Ali from UP, Dr. Richardson from ANC, Fagon, Wozi from CDC / who know what. This is the people's platform. I am independent for the Liberian people. This is the people platform, okay? But I would listen. I have my own
owe you a
opinion.
response.
I have my own opinion, and I
We'll
will
give
say
it
this
next tomorrow.
because it's very important for me
I'll
to
give it
say.
tomorrow, yeah.
Liberians
I said
deserve
next
better.
tomorrow. I didn't say tomorrow.
Liberians deserve better. I do believe that at the end of the day, or sometime Mr. Comey should look himself in the mirror and back off. This is a 2-person race. Joseph Yima Boyka or George Manawia. Take it or leave it. The people are going to go to vote. They will vote for Joseph Yima Boyka to be president, or they will vote for George Manawia to be re-elected. Or in the opposition, only Joseph Yima Boyka named you hearing. Comey's have tried heaven and earth. It's fall flat. Tewon Gonglo came from nowhere. He had passed Cummings. He and Clarence Mobile standing on third place. So look at the fact. Even the addition of Charlene Brunskin have placed Mr. Cummings in 4th place. If the ANC and CPP not careful, man, Mr. Cummings will come distant 5th in this election. I hope they can hold him to distant 4th, that he will have voice to speak 2029. Folks, Liberia deserves better because of the mismanagement of Mr. Cummings' campaign team. Some of the folks that just speak for themselves and by themselves make decisions that Cummings care less. Liberia have moved away from Mr. Cummings. Liberians have decided it will be very important and always important that Mr. Cummings run for the EULA presidency here in this United States, where I think he will win. He will win first round. If he runs for EULA, he will do a lot for Liberians. He will advocate for the immigration status. He will advocate for the social developmental issues. He will advocate for Liberia as a whole.
From candidate of Liberia presidency to EULA?
I think Mr. Cummings should run for the EULA position, and he will cover every state. Mr. Cummings, Retire Suffering campaign spent 470,000 United States dollars. And it end up that you can even spend 10,000. The people will come. Folks around Mr. Cummings are deceiving him every day. With the information we are receiving in-house fighting, it is disturbing that as a good leader, Mr. Cummings cannot put his foot down and make the right decision. Receiving information that folks are using Mr. Cummings' cell phone to text everybody in the name of Mr. Cummings, responding to other politicians and folks. Mr. Cummings has distanced himself from Liberia. And it is important. Mo Ali, you will wait. You cannot wave your hand. It is important for us to say this. This election is about Jose Yima Boyka, and I would say, because I'm entitled to my opinion, and Josh Manawia, because Mr. Cummings have missed a lifetime opportunity and have come back to haunt him. They tried for Jeremiah Kuhn, it didn't work. They tried for Yomli Kanga Lawrence, it didn't work. They tried for heaven and earth, it didn't work. And they settled for Charlene Bronskin that have brought nothing to Mr. Cummings. On that note, I love you, Liberians. Join us again if you can. We will open the phone line and we'll hear you. May God bless you. May God bless our country. And all those that wish us evil, we say back to sender. And we love you, those of you that love us. Gibson, be careful. Leave Mempe Gono number alone. You are on a dangerous ground in Liberia. You do not want her number. Abula, thank you. Dr. Richardson, as always, we say thank you. Mo Ali, have a good evening.
Sorry, Ruby.
Chairman Baron, come on, man.
But
leave the woman number alone, my brother. I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm not even going to call her. I'm not even going to call her.
The thing are in the water will tell you what the crocodile can eat.
I see y'all.
All right, guys.
Mo,
thank you.
All right, Mo, thank you. Mo, is that your sister that got married?
Yeah.
How you doing, Mama? Good to see you. Good to see you. Take care of Mo. Thank you. Yeah. All right, Chairman Barron. Good night, Mo. Chairman Barron, we want to say to you, man, play some of the music, take a break, come back. We'll be at again 1 a.m. your time, just for 1 hour. I know you got to go to the fallback position. You're not going there tonight. I'm not hearing you.
I'm yes, you.
All right, but I want to play this before you leave. You think we should play it though? This one, which one we gonna play? The Joel Mago song or the Mobile Malu tape? Which one? I'm gonna keep it for later, right?
Let us keep it.
Take a break. Okay. I'll be right back. Will you say same link or let me know, okay?
I think you have to create another link.
Yeah, you should do it. Tell Dama to do it.
Okay, all right, Dama. Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. So thank you very much for following us. The invitation is yours to join us at 1 o'clock local time for another splendid edition of the program where the CEO will be a water panelist as well. Thank you so much for following us on Spoon Talk.
Yeah, too small.